This WAFL live stream is proudly brought to you by Ross's Discount Home Centre, Front Row Screens, your local streaming superheroes, and CD Dodd, scrap metal recyclers.
Spring is in the air and so is September. The WAFL Finals is officially here for 2021. Welcome to our live coverage of the qualifying final between South Fremantle and Claremont. It promises to be an absolute belter on this beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon, live on Front Row Screen Sport, your number one in 2021. Home and away games now but a memory, but 5 teams remain, and these 2 teams are touted to be heavy contenders for the premiership. South Fremantle, they had a solid hit out last week in their 45-point win over the West Coast Eagles, with Nicholas Subin brilliant across the centre and Cody Ninyet chipping in with 4 goals. Not enough percentage to get top spot on the ladder, but the double chance is theirs nonetheless. Claremont, they were kept in check by fellow finalist Swan Districts last week, but pulled away after half-time, kicking 6 goals to 3, and again led by young Jack Buller and Alexander Manuel with 3 majors apiece. This year, these teams are the highest scoring, both ranked outside the top 3 for goal accuracy and also inside 50 accuracy as well. Claremont number 1 and South Fremantle number 1 as well. The Bulldogs, they haven't really been at full strength across the season, but it appears to be changing with Jake Florenka, Zach Dent, and now Matty Parker, who is a late in place of Dylan Main. They will be on a big hunt for a big win this afternoon. The Tigers do have a solid core of Bailey Rogers, Jai Bolton, Callan England, and also Declan Hardesty taking to the field as well. Declan Mountford and Lim Ryan are going to form a big part of the centre clearance package. And joining me for the first time in the box, he's just come running in for Fremantle Community Bank Oval, Matty Chechens. He joins us this afternoon. How are you, Matty?
Good afternoon, Paul. And parking is at a premium here, and a big crowd starting to swell into the ground. Looking forward to this one.
I thought you had the VIP place.
I don't think so. maybe at left lane, not here.
But you are right. It is going to be a fantastic game between last year's grand finalists. They've had 3 amazing games of football. They had the game in round 2 this year, round 14 this year, and of course the grand final last October here at Fremantle Oval. So as you see, both teams are going to be standing in line for the national anthem here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. And let's go now down to the ground for the national anthem. The national anthem in front of what is a great crowd here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval for the first match of the 2021 Optus WAFL Final Series, live on Front Row Screen Sport. Paul Persick and Matty Chechens with you if you're joining us for the first time. South Fremantle finishing 2nd, Claremont finishing in 3rd place. Matty Chechens, we'll take a look at some of the key plays for each of the sides. We'll start things off with South Fremantle as we go to the coin toss. Mason Shaw, the captain of the Claremont side, and of course South Fremantle side rather, and of course Jared Hardesty, the captain of Claremont. Mason Shaw, what a weapon he is up forward. He finished with 48 goals in the regular season, but he's also a solid team leader. He's really stepped up this season in place of Dylan Main.
Yeah, he has, and he's going to play obviously a key part this afternoon, and will be ably assisted by Cody Ninyet. But look, what a fantastic addition literally at the last hour in Matty Parker coming back into the competition. It's wonderful to see.
Of course, he was only completed his 14 days of quarantine just yesterday, and he has been cleared for action. Also, another player for South Fremantle, Zach Strom, he has shown strength time and time and again in 2021. He only had a slight hiccup with a finger injury earlier this season, but it's failed to hinder him. Of course, who could forget that great mark in round 21 here at Fremantle Oval?
Yeah, and that's right. I mean, those finger injuries are pretty nasty and difficult ones to overcome, but I just think he's got that diversity. He can sort of play a number of different positions, and I think we saw one of the marks of the season just a couple of weeks ago, and he's a fantastic athlete.
From a Claremont point of view, it's all going to lie in their midfield, because South Fremantle too have got a stacked midfield unit. It's going to be up to players like Mountford, Bolton, Lim, and of course Oliver Eastland to really shut down South Fremantle's midfield presence.
Yeah, Eastland's third in the competition in hit-outs. He had a monster game against South Fremantle back in round 14. I think he ended up with 46 hit-outs. He had 12 disposals, but also laid 10 tackles, so he'll be in the thick of it this afternoon. I've got my eyes obviously on Bailey Rogers. He's probably had a career year. He's probably been the best player in the competition, it's fair to say, in the last month. So he's been moved into a permanent midfield role, and he just provides that perfect foil for Jai Bolton in the middle of the ground.
Who's your tip for the game? Who will go through to the second semi-final?
Look, despite South Fremantle winning 6 of their last 8 contests between the two sides, I tipped Claremont before the season started. I think that they will get up today, maybe just under 2 goals.
Well, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going the Bulldogs. Large home ground advantage. They rarely get beaten here in finals matches, as was illustrated last year in the grand final, and of course in the preliminary final against West Perth last year. We should be in for a great game. We're glad that you, viewers at home, whether you've been Western Australia, across the nation and around the world, can join us live for the first match of the 2021 Optus WAFL Final Series. It is go time here at Fremantle Oval. It'll be Eastland and Hamish Free to do battle in the ruck. There's the bounce. Free getting the first tab out, socket off the ground to the path of Schleuf. Was he held without it? He gets a second bite of the cherry. Clearing kick towards the attacking 50. Roving it brilliantly there was Thomas Baldwin. He's under pressure from 2 Bulldogs. The tackle comes in. Ball finally shuttled out the back of the pack. High kick by Lucy. A contest at left half back. Player's unable to read the bounce of the ball, but McQuilkin roves it brilliantly. He gets caught. Was it high? Umpire says, give it to me. It's on the outer wing here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Start of this final series between the grand finalists of last year. Free gets the tap out, and now the Bulldogs can get, Tigers can get an important entry inside that forward 50. The tackle being laid strongly by Buller. They're holding the ball. They're not going to get it, and it goes over the line. On the comm system scoreboard, no score at the moment in the first minute of this qualifying final.
Fast start crucial for Claremont. South Fremantle, Paul, have been the best first quarter team in the competition.
Free out the back, palms it down to Subin, who clears it out of that defensive 50. Schlensog, who's had himself a great season up forward. He's being pushed down back again. The hand pass comes from Kelly to Free. Free kicks down the line. Ninyet, he was held without it, and the umpire will pay him the free kick. And it's on the attacking side of centre for the Bulldogs. Ninyet goes short, finds Subin. He had a great game 2 weeks ago in round 21, and he found his feet again against West Coast. Flicks it out to Schleuf. Schleuf kicks towards half forward, and a disappointing kick is found by Miller for the Tigers. He takes a crucial intercept mark inside defensive 50. He's going to go across the ground. Disappointing kick, was a risky one. Found its way to McQuilkin from the boundary line, keeps it in, gets the hand pass out to Strom. He got bundled out in the tackle, a hard one on Mountford. McQuilkin tried to keep it in, but it was over the line for a throw-in.
Declan Mountford showing his intent, Paul, early. He averages 11 tackles in the finals in just his 6th game in that format of the game. So we've got a boundary throw-in 10 metres around from the right-hand stick. Miller will look to do the ruck work, just grabs it straight out of the ruck, looks for the hand pass towards Ninyet. We have our first score of the afternoon, a minor score. So the Bulldogs drawing first blood. Miller's such a key component as well. Can also pitch, hit in the ruck, as we just saw then. Just elected to just grab it straight, and they get rewarded, albeit a minor score. So kick out towards the outer side. South Fremantle with numbers again. Will hand pass inboard. They look to centre it now. They can go back inside 50, long and deep again. Ninyet the target, but over his head and out of play. Chance for Claremont to reset.
Just on the teams, of course, South Fremantle are averaging around 46 inside 50s. Claremont are averaging 48, so it's still evenly matched in the inside 50 department. Who's going to control that is going to be crucial in this first quarter.
And also to kick straight in front of the big sticks too. And we know that South Fremantle are one of the best in the competition. Here they go, right on cue. Parker up and under. Is it going to scrape through? Not on this occasion. And through for just the minor score. So showing what he can provide in the early stages. Matthew Parker has kicked 7 goals for, originally from Melville. They bring it out now. They've been so competent across half-back, Claremont. Short lead offered there by Max Spivey, but it's going to be ignored, so the umpire says get on with it. Kicks down that outer wing in front of the jail, into the hands there of England. Fed it off now. There's a whistle, and that might be coming back, so no advantage will be paid. Much to the disgust of the travelling Tigers supporters. Always a well-supported team, aren't they, Paul?
Absolutely. They always turn out in great force, whether it be home at River Fitness Stadium or away, just like here at Fremantle Oval. It's a great atmosphere for a finals game.
So the ground bathed in sunshine as the fans begin to fill the ground. Eastland from behind. That kick hasn't travelled the required distance to Nin yet. He's been busy early. They're just shitting it towards the line. Oh, wearing one a little higher there was Baldwin. The umpire says play on. Hand pass comes in board to Eastland. The big man, they could be out here. Kicking around the corner. It's a bit ugly at the moment. Both teams need to clean up their disposal and tracking back. Is that mark going to be paid? Not on this occasion. So the ball falls at ground level. The Tigers wanting to get numbers, and South Fremantle will be content with the ball up here. Almost 5 minutes have travelled on the comm system scoreboard, and the two behinds have the home side, the Bulldogs, in front.
Paul Bursick and Matty Chechens with you in the box on this sunny Saturday afternoon, this qualifying final. They both miss it. Buller robes it brilliantly. The hand pass comes out to Hardesty. Snaps around the corner from a tight angle, and it's across the face for a behind. And so Claremont get their first score of the afternoon. It's like a soccer match at the moment with 2 points to 1.
And it's a bit scrappy at the moment, isn't it?
But it's that finals pressure as well that could really boil over any moment. So Pearson is going to put the ball back into play using that play-on rule to great effect. Kicks towards left half back. Schlensog in front, no mark. Strom came across it, and in fact it's going to be paid. Free kick his way. Blake Schlensog, the former Geelong player, spent some time up forward.
Could have needed key backman last night, the Cats.
Goes to Motlop. It was rumoured to be replaced by Parker, but in fact it was Dylan Main who was replaced. Motlop's kick is a beauty. It finds Strom. He kicks inside 50. Ninyet in front. Was he held? Great effort by Hardesty to put the pressure on Ninyet. They're wanting the free kick. Nothing doing. The hand pass comes out. It's in the path of Miller. Close to the boundary line. Claremont have got the numbers at the football. Mountford onto Spivey. Hospital hand pass leads him to get caught by Strom. Oof. The umpire says, give it to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, how good was that tenacity from Matty Parker in the forward line. Laid 2 strong tackles. Couldn't extract the footy, but he is renowned for that inside 50, obviously at AFL level as well.
Bolton spiral punt towards the centre, and South Fremantle are wanting deliberate. Oof. No, it's not going to be. Bit stiff according to my co-commentator Matt Chechens, but nonetheless it's going to be a boundary throw-in just by the bench.
Oh, Zach Dent had his hands raised as well. He was expecting the free kick, and I think they're a bit stiff.
Eastland and free. Eastland in front, got the palm down, only fingertips to it however. Florenka back in the side, quick kick. Ball 55 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. Schloith and Martinez battling it out, but the ball beats them both.
23 disposals and 8 tackles for Hayden Schloith back in round 14. It's his 15th game in the finals too for his career.
Great finals campaigner is Hayden Schloith, and looking for another premiership to go with last year's big premiership win. Ball at ground level, Kelly.
Talk a man up and he gives away a free kick, Paul.
Yeah, putting the old mockers on him. The free kick's going to go the way of Ben Edwards. Had himself a good season across the back line. Mitchell sat and waited, and a great spoil over the line from Florenka.
It's just as though both teams are feeling each other out at the moment. I mean, obviously they've come across each other so many times in the finals in the last couple of years.
So it's always typical for a finals game. They both check each other out early, just so you know who's in the better position early on in the game. So it's a throw-in on right centre wing. Eastland got the tap out. Florenka robes it out the back. Out to Mitchell, and now they link up with Bolton. Bolton's kick towards half forward. No mark to Manuel. Well roved by Hall. Got the hand pass out, and the Bulldogs are on the move. Mascos. He goes across the ground, and that's a lovely kick finding Dragovic. And now they're on. The kick towards Donaldson. Donaldson waiting for the next move. He's looking to go long towards the forward line. He gives it off to Dragovic. He just kept running unchecked. Dragovic's kick towards half forward. Parker, no mark. That was a spoil by Martinez over the boundary line for a throw-in.
And he is a welcome addition. He started off the season in red-hot form before injury. Curbed what was going to be a very promising season for him. So, important ball in. Jack Lucy leading the game in disposals. He has 4 touches. Eastland out-duelled this time by Free, keeping his spot and keeping Brock Higgins out of the team in his breakout season. Time for another ball in, and chance for us to draw breath as 9 minutes tick over. Thanks for joining us. Com System scoreboard has the Bulldogs with their snouts in front just by the 1 point.
Great to have Com Systems on board for the finals.
Eastland tapped it to himself. They kick up towards left half forward and just paddled over the line in the end by Tim House. He's kicked 9 goals this season from Noangara. Just his 6th game of league footy. Both teams loaded with finals experience. Eastland won it down. Subin slung in the tackle, couldn't get rid of it. He's had 3 disposals.
Magnificent turnout. This is almost reminiscent of the grand final last October. This is incredible.
Oh, the attempted soccer off the ground from Mountford didn't go anywhere in the end. In goes Kane Mitchell, tries to extract the football. Bit of volleyball, ends up in the hands of Ryan Lim. Hurried kick forward. It's off as a pair of knuckles, and that will go out of play. And another chance to see some of the small forwards of Claremont. And they've had a tremendous season. I mean, the league's top scorers, most points per game, and it's been done a lot by their half forwards and forward pocket players.
And the same has been done for South Fremantle as well. They're not far behind in the points.
Rioli applies the good tackle. Strom, that was a clever hand pass, and they can clear. From Mascos, big up and under, ends up in the hands of the Tigers in Martinez. Hurried kick towards Mitchell. Oh, was that in the back? The umpire says play on. Ball still to be won at the moment, and the umpire spotted a free kick, and it's going the way of the Tigers. So Hardesty will hand it over into the hands of Tom Baldwin. He's used his allotted time just towards the hot spot and getting a free run at the football. Couldn't take the mark was House. That opened the door, and now through Manfred Kelly, the Bulldogs, a chance to go through the middle of the ground. That's the tie. The umpire will pay advantage, so Kelly brings it out wide to the live wire in Parker. What can he conjure up here? He just fires a little hand pass off towards Bletcherden. He kicks him inside 50. A rare miscue from him. Sees the ball out of play, and Manfred Kelly, I'm glad that he managed to hold his spot in the team, Paul. He's been tremendous in the last few weeks for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, especially in those last 3 games where Kelly was playing for his spot in the team. The effort that he had against Swan Districts late in the final quarter when the game was in the balance pretty much sums him up as a real crucial crunch time player, especially for his age. I mean, it's only for Manfred Kelly his 14th league game of football.
So the long high kick up towards England. Strom through his hands was impeded. In fact, the umpire's paid the mark, so screaming for it laterally is Blaine Wilson. He goes further afield. He's played 21 finals games as Blaine Wilson. One of the more experienced campaigners out there. This is Dragovic. Assesses his options, goes long and high down the line, looking for Blake Schlenzog. It was slapped out of his clutches. Mitchell, nice slick hand pass out the back door, and will go straight down the throat of Strom, who drops what should have been a pretty regulation mark. Has to wheel back, and they bring it back towards the interchange gates. The umpire letting them play at the moment with the finals. Good strong tackle laid by Declan Mountford, and as we said earlier, averages 11 tackles across his 5 games of finals experience, Paul, so he knows how to get after it.
Right you are, Matt Chechens. They know how to get it done, especially in such a crucial time in the football season like finals football. Miller wins it out. It comes to Dragovic. He got slung without it. Umpire calls play on. Now the Tigers break free from the congestion. Buller. Good tackle from Blenchenden. Hand pass came out to Hardesty. He's taken over the line for a throw-in.
Ryan Lim up to 5 touches, and Jai Bolton just quietly going about his business, Paul. He has 4 disposals.
A contest about 60 metres out when the Bulldogs goal. Miller and Buller. Buller snatches it out. Got the quick hand pass out to the run of Subin. Catching Spivey off guard. Tigers linking up to Hardesty. Quick kick with the right foot. 2-on-1. Big spoil. Oh, and getting hit hard there was Dent. He went down like a bag of spuds. And the pushing and shoving starts. Dent, he is out like a light. And the trainer's coming in very quickly. Zach Dent, he is not a well boy.
Let's hope he's okay. I'd like to see players laying prone on the floor like this.
Especially at any game. You wouldn't wish that upon anyone. But Zach Dent is down, and we're going to have a delay as a result. On the comp systems scoreboard, it is 2 behinds to 1. South Fremantle lead by just a point. It's been a very tight, scrappy tussle thus far this afternoon. Zach Dent, he is absolutely out cold. And a couple of boos ringing for the Tigers as we see on the CD dot replay. Here's Dent, got the ball, and bang. He got crunched there by big Tim House. And there, also a little shove from one of the South Fremantle teammates standing up for Zach Dent. That was Miller. And there is Dent being taken off the ground by the trainers.
Yeah, it doesn't look well, but it's at least it's comforting to know that he's conscious at the moment, albeit being assisted from the field. So with such an emphasis on concussions and things like that, Paul, that's not good to see, and we hope that he's not going to be suffering any ill effects from that.
And we hope he recovers quickly. The free kick will be taken by Dragovic as we see that bump again. Very hard hit indeed, head high by House. Don't be surprised if the WAFL match review panel have a look at that after the first week of finals. We're back live at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Free kick will be taken by Dragovic. He goes short, finding Pearson. And the ground almost flooded. Every player has streamed forward towards that attacking zone for the Bulldogs. They go across the ground to Strong. Strong kicks long towards the forward 50. Hardesty leaping high. Great mark on the left back pocket.
They've had double the inside 50s entries, Paul. That's 8 now to 4, but Claremont are just happy to take those intercept marks.
Now Hardesty links up with Lim. He's going to go across the ground and open up some space. A risky kick, but a marvellous mark by Davies, seeing the mismatch against Schloyd. He certainly did. He did see the mismatch. About a few centimetres taller. Davis having an attack of the fumbles, but he got the hand pass back out. Clearing kick out of the defensive 50. Huge pack of players will fly. Eastland was one of them. No mark. Hardesty jars it out towards Spivey. Loops it over the top to Bolton. Bolton kicks towards the centre wing, but it's out of bounds on the full. And you can hear the cheers from the crowd signalling that free kick along with the umpires. And so the free kick will be taken by Mascos.
Nick Subin getting into him as well.
Right centre wing.
That was fantastic pressure on Bolton. He rarely fails to execute. It was good front half pressure.
The Hall on the centre square. They're going to push it wide again, and they find Strom. He's had plenty of it in the last few minutes. McQuilkin on the outer wing by a big C, South Fremantle and Claremont fans. And what is a great turnout for the qualifying final. McQuilkin down the line towards a 2-on-1. Martinez flew high. Strom couldn't take the mark. Kelly, great effort to bustle his way through the pack. Hand pass comes out to the live wire. Parker. Parker goes for the short pass intended there for Schloyd. Ball's going to bounce through to the top of the goal square. Players contesting. Florenka applies a strong tackle close to the line. Schloyd takes it over, but it is out of bounds. Is it on the full? No, it isn't. So Claremont can count their lucky stars. And it'll be a throw-in about 30 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. On the comm system scoreboard, 18 minutes in, South Fremantle leading 2 behinds to 1.
That was wonderful work from Florenka then. Now the umpire and the boundary umpire just conferring, just to double check that this wasn't touched first. No,
what's out on the
they've
full?
Overruled, so out of bounds on the full. So that's twice in the space of about a minute and a half. Bolton kicking out on the full. And now Donaldson will get a chance from a very tight angle. Right in front of the newly developed part of the ground in the last 5 or 6 years or so. So Donaldson, we still await our first major. We've ticked over 18 minutes on the comm system scoreboard. Can Donaldson get us underway? Not on this occasion as it floats across the face of goal and through for a minor score, 3-1. Still remaining with the soccer style score. They'll look to bring it straight down the middle of the ground. Floating ball, almost travelled level with the bullseyes. In the end, it was marked by Rogers. They can play on. They're inside 50, just their 5th entry at the moment. And the ball just pitches inside the line and out for a boundary throw-in. So 9 inside 50s to 5 in favour of the Bulldogs. Matt Chechens and Paul Persick, thanks to front row screens. Bringing all this action to the qualifying final. The winner will meet Subiaco. Palm down. It was partially smothered. Claremont up towards England. He gets the saddle put on him. Bit of tunnel ball out the side. Will roll through. And strikes the padding of the right hand behind post. So a ball in. Isaac Barton, you can see just floating around the back of that pack at the moment. Kicked 3 goals back in round 14. He likes these situations. Not on this occasion. Parker just runs straight through the middle of centre half back. Sweeps the hand pass out wide. Pearson gets hemmed in. Spears it to Slingshot. Second leading mark taker in the competition. Spent the first part of the season down back, and now, much like Harry Taylor, can be used in the forward line. Very capable kick. Kicks up towards Strom, and somehow the mark is going to be taken and paid. Stephen Miller. He's got Kane Mitchell down the line, who marks in front of Parker. Just plays on. Re-enters inside 50. Off the shins of the Tigers player, and Schlenside will allow that ball to trickle out and out of play. 2 points is the margin. 20 1/4 minutes of travel. Thanks to comm system scoreboard and front row screens.
Both teams still seeking their first goal. What is a massive game built up between the two teams in the week leading up. Comes out to Rogers, out of the ruck, the hand pass. Pick it up was Manuel. He eventually got it out to Martinez. He goes for the short pass, intending for Rogers, and Rogers takes the mark on the chest, and he'll have a shot from about 45 metres out for the Tigers' first goal and the first goal of the game.
I think the only danger of Jai Bolton winning the Sandover again this year is this man on screen, because he has had a breakout season.
He certainly has. Game 2 weeks ago against the West Coast Eagles, 36 disposals, 16 marks and 3 goals. And he's shown in recent weeks why he is going to be a genuine finals player. Rogers from 45 metres out.
Oh.
And that is a lovely kick. Never looked like missing. Rogers strikes first for Claremont. And at the 22-minute mark, the Tigers at last have the first goal of this qualifying final. It's on the comm system scoreboard, 1-1-7 to 3 behinds.
20 goals in the season. His 8th final appearance, and he has really stepped up this season. 5th in the comp for disposals, Paul, 5th for marks, and 3 for inside 50s. And you add 20 goals to that, to a young man that hasn't even played 100 games in the competition. Fantastic. Just out of curiosity, I mean, I've said Jai Bolton, I think, will win another Sandover. Who's your tip, Paul?
I'm going to go Bolton or Rogers. It'll be a Claremont 1-2.
Okay. So you're allowed 2 tips and I only get 1.
Yes. Well, you can have a second if you want. Who would be your second?
Good question.
You know, for a long shot, speaking of the Sandover, for a long shot, I'd like to see a forward winner, Tyler Keitel.
Okay.
But nonetheless, we've still got some finals action to go before the Sandover medalist is determined. Eastland gets the tap out. It's the Tigers leading 1-1 to 3 behinds, and the umpires paid a free kick going the Tigers' way.
Here's a smoky for you. Scott Jones, East Perth.
Scotty Jones from East Perth. He had a good season.
Love to see him finish in the top 5.
Rogers, alongside the centre circle, probing kick towards the forward 50. Players leaping high, no mark. Hard tackling applied by House. Hand pass comes out to Bolton. He's going to switch it across the ground and find Big Tim House. House goes long from right on the 50. It's a goal! What a magnificent goal! Claremont double their lead. In fact, it's Mountford rather. Declan Mountford with a long bomb inside 50. And the Tigers double their lead to 11 points on the Com-System scoreboard.
50th game in his career, and that you can credit the goal assist to Jai Bolton, because he just uses his class. Instead of just maybe blazing away for goal himself, or even kicking to the hot spot or up towards the kickoff line, he just looked over his right shoulder, spotted a man that's got a long leg, and he made absolutely no mistake. And despite having less inside 50 entries, Claremont are so dangerous, and they've kicked the first 2 of the game.
They led it by 10 points rather, 2-1 to 3 behind. South Fremantle in a little early trouble. Could this be deja vu from last year's second semi-final when they beat South Fremantle 71 to 24 and made its way to the grand final? It's still early days.
We called that game too.
Certainly did,
yep.
And on this ground as well. And Claremont again forcing the pressure early. Martinez sends it long to a 2-on-2. In front is Buller, no mark. On the third grab, the umpire's going to pay it. Oh, some South Fremantle fans aren't too happy with that.
That's playground rules, Paul. When you're playing kick in the pack at recess, you got to pay those.
Well, you're on duty. Well, you're a school teacher for most, so you would know it by now.
Don't worry, I'll float down to where the Year 3s play just to take a few cheap ones. But that was skillful.
Kick intended for England, but the ball's going to be thrown in. 10 points the margin. 25 minutes into this first quarter. Margin 10 points in favour of the Tigers. The tap comes out. Rogers off the back of the pack. He snaps, but it's beautifully smothered by Strom over the line for a throw-in.
South Fremantle, they cannot have the first 3 kicked on them, considering they are the best first quarter team in the competition, and they have been under the microscope throughout the season 2021 thanks to Optus because of their inability to run out games. So if Claremont have a handy lead at half-time or three-quarter time, statistics will show that South Fremantle won't be able to bite back. Time for another stoppage. Free, got to the front, paddled it down towards Mitchell, lost his feet. Kick clear by Dragovic. Can relieve a little bit of pressure. Strom in a foot race with Lucy. He went to ground. Ball somehow shinned out the back. Martinez just gets barreled over. Well done, Kelly. Now they've got a little bit of time and space in the middle. Dragovic, clean pick up, and they're away now. But there's no one forward of this at the moment, so they have to try and get round the tackle. Schlensog with a hand pass received. Dropped it at the worst possible time. Now the kick will come out laterally, and it's going to work out okay for South Fremantle. They waste no time. Well done there from Hall, taking that floating mark, but his disposal let him down and out of play. He was looking for Ninyet, who's been a focal point at the moment. We haven't seen Mason Shaw get any leading room in the early stages, Paul. They've really done well to block that off.
Well, defenders, especially Declan Hardesty, has held him down well. I mean, he averages 2 goals a season, 2 goals a game rather, does Mason Shaw. But Declan Hardesty, he's putting a lot of pressure on Shaw. He averages 2 more disposals than Shaw a game this season.
Florenka's kick went into the hands of Bolton. Subin went to ground. Schleuf out towards Hall. Gets bundled off it by Isaac Barton. Schleuf runs into 2 Tigers, and he gets mauled as they bring him to ground. And Kane Mitchell having a go at the younger player in Hall. Had a good game in our broadcast game. He's kicked 4 goals straight for the season. Predominantly plays on a wing. Hardesty, England going absolutely nowhere, and we've got another ball up.
It'll be about 60 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. They're desperate to get one on the board before quarter time.
What were the odds of South Fremantle going the first term goalless?
Oh, who would have thought? Those odds are unimaginable. Hall gathers, goes with the right foot. They'll contest right on the paint of 50. Ooh. Martinez keeps it in front. Good effort, but even better by Kelly. He got the hand pass out, but the Tigers have the numbers. Streaming towards the half-forward line. And a great mark taken by Bolton. He kicks towards the right forward pocket. Buller gathers. Hand pass comes back out. Martinez snaps around the corner. Is it going to bounce through? Ooh. It's a behind.
They've dodged an absolute bullet there.
And that's England. And the Bulldogs look to get one big entry in that forward 50 just before quarter time. They need one.
Jacob Dragovic up to 8 disposals, leading that category. Jai Bolton and Ryan Lim for the Tigers with 7 apiece.
Mascos' kick was intended for Strong, but couldn't get that one on the half volley, and we'll have ourselves a boundary throw-in just by that big bay of fans by the bleachers.
2 more inside 50 entries, Paul, for South Fremantle, and yet they haven't kicked a goal.
Free in Eastland. Eastland snatches it out of the ruck. He's going to kick it laterally towards the paint of 50. Good spoil by Hall. Hardesty. Hand passes into space. Lim buys it off to Martinez. Does a little volleyball stuff. Subin. Hand pass out to Schlensog. Subin gets it back. And now they're away, the Bulldogs. Long kick into space. Getting it on the free there is Baldwin. He goes to ground. Mountford comes to Hardesty. He's now going to be put under pressure from Donaldson and Motlop. What's the umpire going to say? He says, give it to me, thank you. And it's on again. On the paint of 50. The pressure really starting to heat up for both sides in the early goings. And players starting to come from everywhere. Be careful, boys.
South Fremantle's forward pressure across half forward and inside 50 has been tremendous. They're just not getting clean entries at this stage.
All converting on the scoreboard as Eastland again wins the tap out. It comes out to Kelly. Quick kick, beautifully smothered. Rogers round the corner, clearing the defensive 50, but only as far as Pearson. Got the quick hand pass out to Hall. They're linking up with McQuilkin. Dragovic. Long kick. They'll contest about 20 metres out. No contest.
Yeah.
And a great mark taken there inside the forward zone by Miller. And he'll have a shot for South Fremantle's first goal.
10 disposals for Dragovic and probably none better than that. And it must... When you've got a couple of key forwards above 195 centimetres, you can just float that ball up inside 50. And you've got Schlensog down there, Shaw obviously, and Miller. Tough to contain, and they finally get a bit of a reward for inside 50s.
Much needed response for the Bulldogs if Miller can put this through. Straight through the middle. Miller gets his first goal and the first for the Bulldogs after 30 minutes. And on the comm system scoreboard, it is 1-3 to 2-2 in this qualifying final here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. 14 plays 9 on Opta's WAFL qualifying final day.
His goal-kicking efforts sometimes go unnoticed or unrewarded, Paul, because you look at Shaw, who's kicked 40+. Cody Niniak takes a lot of the applaud as well. He's kicked 41. And then you have a look at Miller, who's kicked 18 now for the season. So he is that third cog in that forward line that's so hard to contain. And then you throw in Schleuf as well, and Kelly, and you've got all these other crumbing forwards up there as well. So he, for me, provides that great balance for South Fremantle.
Ball back in the centre. Green Eastland in the ruck. It comes out to Schleuf. Clearing kick out of the centre square. Kelly trying to gather on the half volley. Couldn't take clean pickup. Martinez fires off the hand pass to Mountford, but his feet were over the line. And it's going to be a throw-in. This first quarter, it's really been a tight tussle, Matty Chechens, but what's going to be a key for South Fremantle here if they want to get a big wave of momentum in this second quarter?
Well, they've just got to clean up their ball use at the moment. They're winning plenty of the football. Free's sort of holding his own at the moment, even though Eastland won that one. And here goes Free, trying to bust his way through. High up and under, didn't travel the required distance. Slick hands from Kelly to Strong. They kick up towards Shaw. His first real run and contest of a mark. And as you can have a look at the Tigers' defence, 2-on-1 there, and Shaw was up against it. That was his first opportunity to really have some tarmac in front of him and look to launch. Tigers have done a tremendous job there. Shallow throw in. Schlensog with the ruck work towards Kelly. Spun in the tackle by Martinez. He's had a tremendous opening term, Lockie Martinez.
Tigers' tackling pressure has been nothing short of brilliant. Martinez there. Mountford, he's got 3 tackles early.
The usual suspects. Mitchell slings his right foot through the footy, only as far as the last goal kicker in Miller. Kick was well spoiled. And the flying snap around the corner will not register a score. Well, it's been a fiery contest. We've seen bodies hit the deck, a bit of pushing and shoving, and there's so much on the line because the winner of this will meet Subiaco and a chance to play in the grand final. But it is quarter time, and it's the visitors with their noses in front. 2-2-14 to 1-3-9, Paul Persick.
Well, it was a very fiery opening term. You're absolutely right about that. But the Tigers, they were able to get those first 2 goals on the board through their ability to convert inside their 50. South Fremantle were able to get those entries in, but just haven't been able to make good use of them, especially on the scoreboard. Mason Shaw hasn't had a lot of touches, but also the likes of Cody Ninyet has been put under pressure as well. Miller getting that last goal sort of gave South Fremantle a little relief that they didn't concede the first 3 goals as well. But also Claremont's tackling pressure too has been really good.
Yep.
And we'll take a break, and when we come back, it'll be all the numbers and analysis with Matty Chechens and Paul Persick in the second quarter. Right after this here on Front Row Screen Sport on Optus WAFL qualifying final day. It is the Claremont Tigers leading the reigning premiers 2-2-14 to 1-3-9. Back with more after this.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Some highlights of the opening quarter between South Fremantle and Claremont, and it is the Tigers leading by 5 points. 2-2-14 to 1-3-9. Paul Persick and Matt Chechens with you on what is a sunny Saturday afternoon. Matty, it was all about the pressure. It was all about pressure in the opening quarter because it was quite a fiery opening term, wasn't it? But Claremont were able to execute more tackling pressure, but also a little more on the scoreboard, hence their position on the scoreboard with a 5-point lead. South Fremantle, they too got some valuable entries inside 50, but they weren't able to make good use of it with their 2 key forwards not getting many touches in the first 30 minutes.
Well, Claremont 25-20, so they've had 5 more tackles at the moment, despite having 4 more possessions as well. And then South Fremantle 14-9 inside 50s, Paul, and they've had 8 more marks, and you would probably expect that is a lot of that is their game style to a T at the moment. I thought Dragovic has been good for South Fremantle, even though they're trailing. He's had 10 disposals, 3 inside 50s. Florenka, he can hold his head high because he's laid 6 of those 20 tackles for the Bulldogs, and Strom's taken 3 marks, so they've had some contributors. But then Claremont, I thought Ryan Lim was pretty good in that opening term, had 8 disposals. Bolton had 8 disposals too, and I think Declan Hardesty, who really loves it at the coalface, he can play on the ball, provide a bit of grunt, but also in that almost unfashionable job across half back. He's not a classy ball user, but he will definitely put his head in and try and extract the footy. So Claremont at the moment, just a bit more dash at the moment. When they've gone inside 50, they've obviously made better use of it, but they've both had the same amount of scoring shots. South Fremantle need to clean up their ball use inside 50, and whatever Claremont's pre-game tactic was to lock down Mason Shaw, they've done it to a T.
They certainly have, especially with Declan Hardesty applying a lot of pressure on Mason Shaw, and they're having to get those 2-on-1s at the expense of Mason Shaw to really stop his presence inside that forward line. Hardesty, you talk about with 6 touches. Yep. He's also had 2 marks and 2 tackles inside that defensive 50 as well. Lachlan Martinez, he's also got a couple of possessions as well. Ryan Lim at the coalface, he's been quite a core player in that centre. He's also had plenty of touches as well. But you talked about the tackles. They too have been a really big key in the inside 50s. Claremont really owe their position to executing a lot more effectively inside those 50s. They only had a few less inside 50s compared to South Fremantle in that opening quarter. They had 9 in total, but Claremont, just the way they were able to use the ball inside 50, really caught the Bulldogs off guard.
So we have a look at their only goal of the term in Miller. pinch hits in the ruck. Also, I thought Kane Mitchell was superb as well. He can play that floating roll across half back, or he's such a damaging half forward as well, and a man that's played at the highest level as well. Mason Shaw just one hand pass. Hasn't taken him up. That's his only stat at the moment. So,
and again, it's all down to those two key defenders, Hardesty in particular, that has really taken to Mason Shaw early, and even Thomas Baldwin, he got a few good possessions in defensive 50.
Well, that's young Stephen Miller there. Promising young footballer. And just a bit of attention on the schnoz at the moment.
All the bumps and bruises of an early finals game. And also Cody Ninyet in that forward line as well for the Bulldogs. He didn't get a lot of touches either because of the defensive pressure put on by Claremont. Just the way their defensive 50 is firing early on, South Fremantle have really got to respond quickly.
I honestly think what's kept South Fremantle in the game at the moment is not necessarily the clearance game at the moment, but it's the half forwards pressure at the moment. Matty Parker's done a tower of work. Obviously Florenka, I think Dragovic has been good, so particularly Florenka as well. We saw the ball in the right forward pocket a couple of times for the Bulldogs, and he just bull rushes and either forces stoppages or ball ups, and doesn't allow that clean ball use that Claremont is so effective at.
Second quarter about to get underway. The Tigers leading by just 5 points over the reigning premiers. We're glad you can join us on Front Row Screen Sport, your number one in 2021.
Stiffish breeze at the moment that's just picked up in the break, literally, Paul. It's now sort of swung around and blowing to the left of screen, so maybe a goals advantage there. Who knows? We'll see if South Fremantle can take advantage of that.
It adds to a little bit this second quarter because there wasn't a breeze to speak of for much of the first quarter. Certainly going to make goal kicking quite interesting indeed.
They call it the Fremantle Doctor, don't they, Paul?
They certainly do. Not only at the WACA, but everywhere around WA, the famous Fremantle Doctor. We're underway. In this second quarter, the Tigers leading by 5 points. First goal in the second quarter will be essential. Down straight down the middle, slightly favouring Eastland. Got the tap out to Bolton. Getting the quick kick out towards the forward 50. Buller unfavoured by the bounce. It comes to Mascos. He has a bounce. Darts past defensive 50. He goes inboard, finding Schlensog. Couldn't grab it. Florenka roves it brilliantly front and square. He kicks towards centre half forward. Intended there for Miller. Gets a quick snap with the left foot, but it's a poor kick. And finds Lucy.
He did well to judge that at the moment. Established front position. He read the drop of the footy brilliantly there.
Judged that one-on-one very well indeed. Lucy goes across the ground. Bolton couldn't keep his feet. Kelly did. Beautiful hand pass over the top to Strom, releasing Florenka. Check side kick, a disappointing one. Claremont have the numbers around the football. Martinez couldn't get hold of it. Florenka being caught hard there by Martinez. And the umpire's going to say holding the ball, and a free kick will go Martinez' way.
Best on ground for me at the moment, Martinez.
And he's had plenty of it. But the way he's been able to execute off the football as well has been nothing short of brilliant, but that kick wasn't brilliant at all. Strom applies the bump. Florenka kicks inboard towards half forward. Lucy again with the mark, and the Tigers are away. Smallwood clears defensive 50. On the outer side is Lim. Kicks towards left half forward to the path of Rogers, favoured by the bounce. Rogers goes for a run. He goes for the hand pass out to Manuel. He runs round onto the left foot from 35 metres out. He's put it through. Manuel with a great goal for the Tigers. And that gets them going in this second quarter. 1.5 minutes played on the comm system scoreboard. Manuel strikes first for the Tigers, and they lead it by 11 points.
Well, well done, Ryan Lim, because that was rebound footy at its best. Have a look, thanks to CD Dodd replay. And then Rogers, we can't sing his praises high enough. Just put on the afterburners, fed the hand pass, saw in the rear view mirror there, and Manuel made no mistake. That was a tough kick too. That'd been into the teeth of that breeze after a long run. But that is the ultimate team goal. Almost like basketball, a fast break.
Absolutely.
From left to right of screen.
You can also credit Smallwood in that defensive 50 for initiating that setup, building that chain across the ground. Very well done for the Tigers. 11 points is the margin early on in this second quarter, and unfortunately that bounce was a Barry Crocker.
Shout out to Matt Adams, Trent McPhee and Ryan Shelton, our field umpires.
Well, it's a big deal for them being selected in a finals match. We wish them all the best for the rest of the afternoon. Schleuf. Hand pass out to the live wire himself in Parker. Parker runs through the edge of the centre. He kicks towards half forward. No mark. Big Packer plays. Florenka unfavoured by
Yeah,
that, and it's a free kick. He was held without it. And South Fremantle will have a chance to build on this free kick and respond. The hand pass out to Donaldson from 45 metres out, goes long. It's across the face for a behind. So a big bullet dodged for the Tigers, and the margin now cut to 10 points.
Just goes to show you, stature has absolutely nothing to do with how far you can drop punt a footy, because that was a raking left boot. So Martinez goes towards the outer side through the hands of Eastland, but the Tigers with the numbers. Outer side of the ground, Hardesty toes it further forward. They can bring it inboard now. This is Bolton. Runs literally through the middle and finds a teammate in Mountford who can just step around Subin, who was flat-footed on the mark. Lowers the eyes, delivers up towards half forward. The mark was spilt. Well done, Strong. Applies a good strong tackle. Somehow spinning out of trouble with Spivey. The Tigers do keep it alive. That's an interesting ball. Back inboard. Slick hand pass out towards Rogers. He was bundled off it. Sweeping hand pass to Subin. They recede ground, but they maintain possession, and it looks as though they've controlled this forward 50 entry for the Tigers, and Byron takes the mark.
That was brilliant movement inside defensive 50 from South Fremantle. They knew they were under pressure, but they just had to keep moving the football.
Almost kicked into Martinez, who was on the mark. Eastland floats back, couldn't take the mark through his hands. Mitchell back to Eastland. Somehow he's got a teammate wide open. Hardesty lowers the eyes, and just taking the mark before it hit the turf was Hardesty. So they link up again. Bolton, uncontested mark for him. Just stepping off the bench here is Miller, so he looks to have stemmed that bleeding from the nose. Bolton towards Barton. He flew high, threw his hands in the end. Hand pass out towards Schleuf. Or did that tackle slip high? And a bit of wrestling underneath the pack, and over comes Ben Edwards just to pick off the carcass off the ball at the moment, and a chance for another ball in.
5 minutes into this second quarter on the comm system scoreboard, the margin 10 points in favour of last year's runners-up. Well, it gets it in front. Hardesty can't take clean possession. Strom caught in a hard tackle by Mitchell. Getting it out is Parker. Great play by Parker, but the hand pass went out to Barton. Releasing Manuel for his second. That's England, it is. England goes in and kicks his second goal of the game. His first goal of the game, rather. And England gets Claremont's second of the quarter, and they stretch it out to 16 points. They've kicked the first two of this second quarter, and as we see on the CD replay, that ball moving out of the congestion, Barton onto England. Absolutely magnificent play by the Tigers. England, he's a bit of an unsung hero in that forward line. He doesn't get a lot of plaudits.
Oh, he's kicked 25 goals. Kicked 2 goals back in round 14 as well. They only just fell short in that game. So they are starting to cash in. 6 scoring shots to 5, yet the margin at a game high 16 points. Thanks to comm system scoreboard.
It's the highest of the game, as you said, but also South Fremantle, they are not in the best position at the moment. They need 2 quick goals, and they need them now. Bounce back in the centre. 26-10, the Tigers dominating so far, and they're about to get another clearance. Eastland, high probing kick towards the half-forward line. Great mark by Buller. Reeling it in with the one hand inside 50. And he looks like he's going to back himself here from outside 50. Just that direct clearance from Eastland, high kick, and then reading it well, Jack Buller, in only his 19th league game, is going to back himself in an effort to stretch the margin even further.
Eastland starting to dominate the hit-outs, Paul, but also his work rate around the ground as well. We saw him out in the broadcast wing in an earlier passage of play, getting down and dirty and firing off linking hand passes, so he's doing it all at the moment.
Buller, from right on the 50. It's not going to make the distance. Barton up high, no mark. The Bulldogs trying everything to clear it out of that defensive 50, and the hand pass into the goal line. Strong will concede a behind to the Tigers. The margin 15 points, 7.5 minutes gone in this second quarter on the comm system scoreboard. Claremont in complete control.
Ball brought back in. Little hand pass. Oh, sold his teammate up the river and gets buried in the tackle there, did Ninyet. Never handball to someone that's flat-footed. It's generally the rule, but Ninyet was ridden into the turf by Mitchell. Eastland He's taken a little high there. They somehow get it forward. Into the hands now. Spivey can run to the paint at 50. Great vision. Oh, that would look like a straightforward mark for Carter. And that opens the door for the Bulldogs to clear. So Barton leads the chase in front of Hall. Well done, Hall. Corralling beautifully. Right in front of the South Fremantle bench, but it's ended up in the hands of Jack Lucy, who lowers the eyes and delivers to Rogers on the stretch. And he takes the mark immediately. Possibly the wardrobe malfunction, but he has taken a good mark, and I thought young Hall did a fantastic job there, and then somehow Lucy extracted the football and delivered. Bailey Rogers, can he become the first multiple goal kicker of the afternoon?
He's going around the corner, I reckon.
He is. So the ball will blow across the face of goal, as you can see by that kick, and it falls short in the end as Strong, rather free, takes the mark. He moves it into the back pocket, not the travelled the required distance. Doesn't matter anyway, as Subin marks with his heels on the paint of defensive 50. Steps around the man on the mark, kicks long towards Kelly. Went up with one hand in the end. Bolton gained 10 metres. Comes back inboard, back through to Bolton, and the umpire right on the scene, Matt Adams, says that is a throw. So a turnover. It will come back into the hands of Manfred Kelly. Subin is unguarded 20 metres on the 45 to his left.
So is McQuilkin as well.
So they'll look to play the horseshoe possibly. Dangerous kick in towards the middle of the ground. Didn't come off in the end. So it gets paddled. That's a big hip and shoulder. Second effort as well. Pearson tries to bust his way through the traffic. Schlensog off to Subin. We've seen him kick goals from here before. Folks, towards goal! And it just misses to the right-hand side. Through for a minor score. You could almost read that as the hand pass came through to him, and the Bulldogs get another golden opportunity that goes missing. So they bring it back in. Long clearing kick rather from Lucy. Out towards Strom and Co. and out of play. 10 minutes travelled exactly on the Com System scoreboard. Second term of this qualifying final, thanks to Front Row Screens. 16 points is the margin in favour of the visiting Tigers.
There'll be a throw in on left centre wing. There's a bit of jostling in front of the footy. Eastland and Strom. Strom from behind palms it down onto Subin. He got the hand pass clear, but only for a moment. Tigers trying everything they can to extract the footy, but there's a high tackle. And that's going to go the way of Kane Mitchell. And from the defensive side of centre, he'll look to set things up for the Tigers. Mitchell being told to get a move on. And he goes down the line to a pack of players. Rogers the spoil from behind. Great gather by Strom onto Subin. Links up with Florenka, loops it over the top to Schleuf, goes back to Florenka. And the kick towards half forward is a shocker. And it is out of bounds on the full. And the free kick will go the way of Davis. On right half back for the Tigers, amongst the sea of Tiger faithful. Kicks in ball to Lim. Back into the defensive corridor, Lucy. Lucy has had a magnificent game in the defensive half and has even pushed up the ground early on in the second quarter. Edwards. He's got Smallwood across the ground, and that's where he goes. This is that chip and run game that the Tigers have been known for at times. Has really taken their opposition off guard, but Hardesty wasn't able to hang on to that one. He gets bundled by Pearson. Motlop, a quick hand pass. Now the Bulldogs are away. They've got numbers at the back of the football. Motlop gets it back. High kick towards the forward line. Schlensog couldn't get the mark in time, and a ball bounces through over the line for a behind. And another behind for the Bulldogs. 1-6-12 to 4-3-27. 12 minutes into this second quarter on the Com System scoreboard.
Effectively 7 scoring shots for 2 goals, Paul.
Yeah, but the Tigers still leading in this qualifying final. Towards right half back, knocking it Claremont's way was Lim and Eastland, but over the line for a throw-in. Claremont in control. They've scored the first 2 goals of this second quarter, if you're just joining us. Manuel and England amongst the goal kickers in this second quarter. Miller tried to snatch it out of the ruck, but it's occupied by Eastland. Socket off the ground by Pearson. Hand pass out the back to the path of Donaldson, but the Claremont Tigers are looking very good indeed. What's the umpire going to say? As huge pack of players converge on the football, he says, give it to me. And we'll have a ball up on the edge of the centre square. South Fremantle may need a goal to keep with the Tigers. Spivey. Hand pass out, and the Tigers get another entry inside 50. Good spoil on house by Wilson. Socket off the ground, out of the defensive 50. It was clever. Florenka fires the hand pass out. Subin goes back to Florenka. Kicks across his body, up and under kick. Spoil from Smallwood from behind. And the Bulldogs again have numbers at the front of the football. The kick towards Davis. Good pressure there by Strom. Socket off the ground. The umpire's blown a whistle, and a high tackle is going to go the Tigers' way on the half-back line. And the Tigers will look to set things up now on the outer side of centre. The Tigers leading 27-12, and on the comm system scoreboard 14 minutes in.
Jack Lucy finding plenty of it at the moment. Lowers the eyes up towards England, through his hands. Corralled in the tackle was Edwards, but fired off the effective hand pass. They bring it out wide now. This is Baldwin. He gets met front on by Ninyet in the end. He said he was claiming to have touched the ball. Instead, Jason Carter has been paid the mark. Dropped a pretty simple chance back inside 50 earlier this term. Floats that one end over end, and it pitches awkwardly. Spinning into a little bit of trouble is Tim House. Could he be in a bit of trouble for that earlier hip and shoulder in the first term? England. Tigers' bodies hit the deck as the ball gets tumbled outside, and on the third bite, the good mark will be paid to Dylan Smallwood. Right in front of Hardesty and his teammates on the interchange bench here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval.
It's only his second mark of the game, is Smallwood.
Good intercept mark. Taken by Free. Breakout season for him has kept Brock Higgins in the reserves. That is a very questionable kick across the face of goal. Rogers on the scene. Good tackle in the end and out of play. Interesting decision to go across an open goal mouth, and they managed to avoid that. 20 years ago, that was unthinkable to play football like that, but how times have changed. Especially with Alex Manuel around. Important stoppage for the Bulldogs to stand up here. Halfway through this second term, Bolton fed it off by hand, and that's going to be another. It was like shelling peas in the end. And it was the ball magnet in Bolton firing it off to Max Spivey, who kicks his first of the afternoon thanks to CD Dodd. This is just routine. Free gets pushed out of the ruck. In fact, fired it off. Might not have been Bolton in the end, but have a look at that. Perfect finish. We are a long way here back on the ground, aren't we? Halfway through the in the back of the car park, but look, another one for Claremont, and this could get ugly if the Bulldogs don't make a couple of adjustments.
Well, they've scored the last 3 goals of Claremont, and South Fremantle are in a lot of trouble. It's now 21 points. The difference, 5-3 to 1-6.
So great work there from Tim House. As we said, from Nwangara, just his 6th game. 195 centimetres and just under 100 kicks. Back in the middle. Schleuf goes to ground. Hardesty wraps him up. Subin asking for a holding the ball decision, not forthcoming. I can't remember the last clearance from the middle for the Bulldogs, Paul.
Well, it's a rare relic at the moment for them in the context of this game.
Seems as though it's one-way traffic to the right. Can Schleuf put pay to that? Rolling maul, rugby union style. Chance for another stoppage. So 5-3-33 to 1-6-12. Courtesy of comm system scoreboard. The winner to meet Subiaco. Another stoppage.
But also, what we must not forget, and the loser of this game will have to sweat on tomorrow's result of the elimination final between West Perth and Swan Districts, because the loser of today's game will play the winner of tomorrow's elimination final.
Bulldogs player was legged. Umpire says play on. Hack off the ground there from Mitchell, didn't go anywhere. Bevy of bodies around this, and surely we'll have another stalemate right on the edge of the attacking edge of that centre square. 17.5 play. Matt Chetchins and Paul Persick bringing all the action. Thanks again to Front Row Screens.
The number 1 in 2021. on the edge of the centre square. Mitchell trying to extract it by foot. Florenka can't take clean possession. Mitchell at it again. Hand pass intercepted by Bleacherton. Hard tackle by Hardesty, no pun intended, holding the ball. Free kick will go Hardesty's way. And oh, a little shove there by Ninyet. He was not happy with that. Ninyet's starting to get fiery once again. Hardesty swings onto the left foot. Goes looking for Rogers. Couldn't hang on to that one. McQuilkin intercepts that one close to the line, but in fact he was over.
Jack Lucy, Paul, 15 disposals now. He's overtaken Jai Bolton as the most prodigious ball winner, at least in this game. It's interesting, the final structure, isn't it? Because Claremont could almost go through the grand final without playing a home game, despite finishing third. Yeah. It's that awkward position to end on the ladder, isn't it? Yeah, to play away and then away again.
Yeah, the many complexities of this final five structure, which is great to see, though. Yeah. The final five back in action after a year away due to the COVID pandemic and the implications around it as Schleuf clears the defensive 50. He's looking for Miller. Ball down at ground level, players converging on it. Martinez around it, comes back to Miller. Hacks it forward towards the forward half of the Bulldogs. Parker and Hardesty. Hardesty won out, kept his feet well brilliantly. Done. A marvellous effort by Hardesty. He goes down the line, out towards Lim. Fumbles it to Motlop. High kick towards the forward 50. Parker in front. Oof. But the ball beats him over the line for a throw-in.
Well done, Hardesty. I mean, Parker, if he lets Parker goal side, then you can close the gate. That's a goal. Because no one's going to catch him
he's
at any level, really.
He's an absolute live wire in the forward line. So it's a throw-in about 30 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. Is there a holding? Umpire says no. Eastland over the top to Hardesty. The Tigers will look to clear. Mitchell socketed off the ground, but it's a poor kick. And it finds the arms of McQuilkin. He can go inboard if he wants to. He does. Lateral kick towards the forward 50. Shaw in front, under pressure from Smallwood. Motlop applying a strong tackle. No free kick. Umpire calls play on. Edwards links up with Martinez. Goes back to Hardesty. And now Edwards has a bounce. Almost got caught. Well stood up in the contest. The kick towards the edge of centre square. Wilson in front, favoured by the bounce. But he's under pressure from House. Buller fires it off to England. Swings onto the right foot towards half forward. That was brilliant by House. He can run. Can kick from 35 metres out, but he's missed. He was put under significant pressure. He was wanting the free kick for pushing the back, but they're not going to get it. It's a behind. And the margin 22 points as we approach the 21-minute mark of the second quarter.
And the Bulldog supporters can thank Bleacherton then for his chase. He didn't give up on House, wheeling away, and managed to just effect that kick at the very last minute. So they bring it out towards Schlensog. Free at ground level. Hall, can he keep it alive? He can, but he hand passed it back to the opposing ruckman in England, and he just tumbles one end over end and gratefully into the breadbasket of Tim House, who's really providing to be a handful inside forward 50 at the moment for the Tigers.
It's only his 6th game of league football and he's already making a massive impact in his breakout season, Tim House. He's kicked a big bag of goals a couple of times this season, but the way he's able to position himself as an imposing forward with good hard leads and a very good mark. He's a good mark overhead and on the chest as well. And Claremont have got a really big forward for the future. So
an opportunity to kick his 10th goal of the 2021 Optus season, and he makes no mistake. The Tigers are absolutely running away with it now. A game high 28-point lead. Thanks to CD Dodd and the youngsters having a look at home. You can see the breeze blowing. Would have affected this kick right to left. Get very close to the man on the mark and manages to put it through just inside the right-hand upright. So he gets some reward. He's liked his work rate around the ground. He did lay a very heavy bump earlier in the game that may come under scrutiny. We don't want to make any judgment calls on that one, but it on replay probably didn't look the greatest, did it, Paul? No, unfortunately. If they're always going to look at the head high and what force there was, if it was minimal force or sufficient force. But yeah, I reckon I don't want to normally put judgments on it, but being realistic about it, I reckon that's going to come under scrutiny in the week leading up to the semi-finals. So 6 individual goal kickers for the Tigers. We're back in the middle. Mitchell trying to swing his left boot through it. Well done, Bleacherton. Hacked off the ground by Hardesty. Gains 10 metres down the middle of the ground. They put Schlensog now back to centre half back. try and stop some of this bleeding at the moment. And they'll welcome that stoppage. Almost 23 minutes we have travelled on the Com System scoreboard. Qualifying final. Matt Chechens and Paul Persick bringing you all the action from Fremantle Community Bank Oval on a wonderful sunny afternoon. Mitchell, strong tackle on Dragovic. He hasn't gathered too many more disposals. He racked up 10 in the opening term along with 3 inside 50s. Claremont absolutely dominating that category at the moment. 10 scoring shots to 7, but a 28-point lead. Schleuf has the handcuffs put on him by Hardesty. Mitchell attempted to wrap him up first and couldn't affect it. Hardesty was the man that brings him down to the turf.
Schleuf has only had 7 touches at this point in time. So it's very rare for him to get blanketed so sufficiently by the Claremont midfielders as the ball comes back high. Mitchell hacks it forward. 3-on-2 inside the forward line. House buys the hand pass off. It comes to Buller, snaps around the corner, and it bounces through for a behind.
Well, then House just shows how good he is with slick hands. I mean, he had half a second to release that hand pass, hit the mark, and another attempt on goal. It's superb at the moment.
29 points the difference. From half back, the mark taken by Schlensog. He's back in the defensive 50. He spent some time up forward in the last few weeks of the regular season. Goes across the ground to Bletchenden. Be a damaging player in defence and in the midfield as well. Bletchenden signalling to his players, push forward. He kicks down the line. And the spoil coming in from Carter, but there was a holding on, and the free kick will go the way of the Tigers. It'll be Ryan Lim who will take the free kick. He's just sizing up his options on left centre wing. But he's going to go down the line. Huge pack of players flying. Schlensog up high, takes a good mark. Former Geelong listed player, back in Western Australia, and a great season he's having. Shaw buys off the hand pass to Parker. Laid in this afternoon. Parker goes with a kick towards half forward. Martinez couldn't take it on the half volley. He is about close to best on ground this afternoon, and no wonder. Links up with teammates. He goes over the top to Davis. Nice sidestep from Davis. Goes across the ground, and the Tigers are away again. They go inboard to Hardesty. The hand pass off to Bolton. Bolton's kick to a one-on-one, but there's a free kick. And that's going to go the way of the Tigers. And the Tigers player was down. He got flattened as soon as he kicked it. And that was Bolton. And a free kick will go down the field. And it's going to be taken by England. And this will be for the Tigers' 5th in a row. So Callan England, who kicked his first goal at the 6th-minute mark of this quarter, is going to be aiming for his second and putting the reigning premiers, Matt Chechens, under even more pressure.
Yeah, ill discipline, the worst possible time.
So England, he'll kick from about 45 metres out. Drop punt on its way, it's coming back, and not far enough. It is across the face for a behind. Margin 30 points, 6-6-42 to 1 goal, 6-12 at the 27-minute mark of this second quarter, thanks to our great partners at Com Systems. Thank them for coming on board for this final series as they go straight down the ground towards Wilson. On the Schlensog. He kicks across the ground, intended for Wilson, but here comes Ben Edwards. Great composure with the football. He follows it up with a short pass to the path of England. Here comes Barton, close to the boundary line, gets himself out of stride, but the Bulldogs have the numbers at the back of the football. Clearing kick out of the defensive 50. Huge pack of players flying. Hardesty with the spoil. Out to Smallwood. Hand pass at ground level. Nice hip and shoulder there from Strong. Ball at ground level. What's the umpire going to say? Umpire calls play on. Comes out of the congestion. Bulldogs trying to extract the football through Parker. Eastland tackled hard by Florenka. And the umpire says, give it to me. Qualifying final, all part of what is another big weekend of sport on FRS, and of course a big part of a WA footy festival once in a lifetime. Edwards gets the clearing kick to the path of Barton. Great run on by Edwards. Fires the hand pass out to Martinez. He can run inside the 50. He kicks towards the top of the goal square, and it hits the behind post on the foot, and it'll be a Bulldogs free kick on the back line.
Probably the only mistake he's made today. If he'd lowered his eyes, he would have seen Rogers wide open, just 20 metres out and unguarded. So just a rare poor decision from him, who's had a tremendous start to the season. We know he's had injuries. We'll probably want that one back again. So they've moved the big man in Schlensel back. He looks for his ruckman in free. Hand pass comes out towards Stephen Miller. He gets bundled over. Rare 4-8 and might be an inside 50 to the Bulldogs. Probably not going to count, but really, no one at home. Oh, the hand pass missed its mark. That allows Donaldson to run on. He goes into an open goal, and well, it took a bit of a calamitous error in the end from the Tigers. They look to have had the composure, and Donaldson was the recipient as the Tigers player fell to ground. I think it was Dylan Smallwood, who's done some impressive things throughout the afternoon. Let's have a look, thanks to CD Dodd. Fired off the blind hand pass, and player just going to ground there, and Jason Carter, who's had a couple of mishaps throughout the afternoon, and Donaldson, a gold sneak, manages to kick his first of the afternoon, his 21st of the season, and that breathes a little bit more life into the contest, Paul Percy.
It certainly does, after the Tigers kicking the first 4 goals of the second quarter really put the Bulldogs off guard and on the back foot, so to speak. South Fremantle, they haven't had many inside 50s. They haven't been able to make good use of the chances inside their forward half, but they got that inside 50 off the back of a couple of Claremont mistakes. Sometimes you've got to make your own luck count in football, and Donaldson certainly made the most of it, and you are right, he is a proven goal sneak. We've seen that time and time again. A few weeks ago here at this ground, he kicked 5 goals straight, so when he makes an impact up forward, the opposition better watch out.
And there is the siren, and Paul, that broke a 4-goal streak, I believe, of the Tigers, and literally at the death of that second term. So still all to play for. We can't write off the Bulldogs. We know that they're a class outfit with arguably the best coach in the competition in Todd Curley, but that team on screen right now, led by Hardesty and Martinez, would be the much more happier at half-time.
Yeah, I'd have to say so. You'd have to say so, Claremont. They are more of the positive team at the moment, so to speak, because of the way they were able to use the football inside that forward 50. But you could also give their defenders some tremendous credit as well, matey. Hardesty and Smallwood in particular, they were able to blanket Shaw and Ninyet's input. Shaw hasn't even kicked a goal, nor has Ninyet in this quarter, nor has Parker. So Claremont's defensive unit can be praised critically for, you know, blanketing what is a normally strong South Fremantle forward line.
8 scoring shots to 4 in that term. I haven't checked the inside 50 numbers, but no doubt we'll get to those on the other side of the break. It is half-time here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval, qualifying final on front row screens. Thanks to Optus. We'll be right back with all the action as we run through the numbers of the first half.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Fremantle Community Bank Oval. It is half-time in this qualifying final between the grand finalists of last year, South Fremantle and Claremont, and it is the Tigers leading at half-time, 6-6-42 to 2-6-18. Paul Persick and Matty Chechens with you on this sunny Saturday afternoon. And Matty, Claremont owe their lead to a very strong first half, and the defensive unit was magnificent in shutting down the South Fremantle key forwards in that first half.
Yeah, particularly in the first term, and then it was their midfield. And also the half-back. I thought Jack Lucy has had a tremendous game, 15 disposals, along with Jai Bolton. And we know what a dangerous player he is. He had 37 disposals against the Bulldogs back in round 14 in a very narrow loss. But I think Lucy's he's done a tremendous job. He does take some of the kick-in duties, but he's also been pretty good across the wing as well and setting up a few of the forays forward. Look, they've done a great job on the midfield of the Bulldogs because Dragovic led them in disposal. He had 10 disposals at quarter time, Paul, only 13 now to the half. So they've made those adjustments at the moment. At quarter time, the South Fremantle led the inside 50 count, 14-9. So that was +5 in that category, and they've managed to swing that back now. Claremont with +2, so 25-23, and double the scoring shots in that second term, 8 scoring shots to 4, and they just had more polish, a little bit of ill discipline with a free kick down the ground. Cost them another major goal as well. So, look, I mean, for me, the Tigers are just winning the ball at the coalface at the moment and making better use of their forward 50 entries, to be fair.
But also, you talked about, Smallwood and Lucy setting up those forays up forward.
Yeah.
The midfield is also looking much more disciplined. I mean, you talked about the likes of Bolton. He's having himself another big game with those 15 touches. Ryan Lim as well. He doesn't get a lot of credit either. Lim, he's played in the middle and he's played a bit down back as well. His versatility has been demonstrated very well indeed.
I mean, he's still a young player. Predominantly was a prodigious ball winner in the middle of the ground, and I think later in his career they sort of pushed him back to that sort of half-back position at the moment. Keeping in mind, though, they haven't had Martinez for the majority of the season as well. But, like, for me, Jared Hardesty's been amazing as well. He had 13 touches. He's got 9 tackles, Paul, to half-time. And Claremont have laid 46 tackles to 44. So we know there's so much on the line come the pointy end of the season, but I just think the Tigers have wanted the ball. When the ball's there to be won, they either extract it or South Fremantle getting absolutely no space. And the telling factor is the fact that Shaw hasn't taken a mark. He had 1 hand pass in the opening term. Nin Yet has had 1 handball, rather 1 kick for the game.
Have they not been desperate enough, South Fremantle, to try and, convert on those forward 50 entries? They rarely had one until late in the second quarter when Donaldson was able to sneak in that goal to stem the margin back.
Yeah, but
have they not been desperate
that was
enough?
from an unfortunate error as well. I mean, you have a look at young Smallwood, who's been pretty good, Dylan Smallwood, throughout the game. His hand pass was kind of blind, and then Carter, who's not having the greatest afternoon by his standards, but he goes to ground, and then Donaldson strolls into an open goal. So it took a bit of misfortune, really, for the Bulldogs to even threaten in that term.
What will they have to do in the second half? Because no doubt Todd Curley is going to give a stern warning to the players, get it together, or otherwise a chance of back-to-back potentially could slip away.
Well, it starts in the middle, doesn't it? But I think, they've got great halfbacks themselves. I think Strom's had a pretty good game. They've got some good intercept markers, and they showed some flashes of brilliance in that opening term, because you see what an impact Miller can make at the moment. And look, Ninyet, despite only having the 2 disposals at the moment, he does provide that forward half pressure. We've seen flashes of Matthew Parker, but he needs more space at the moment. And I just think if they can hit up Shaw with a couple of lead-up kicks and get him 40 to 45 metres out from goal, then that'll sort of snowball.
I'd have to cut Parker a little bit of slack, though, because, he hasn't had a lot of practice with his teammates. He'd only just come out of 14 days quarantine, coming from Melbourne, where he was playing in the AFL for much of the 2021 season. So he's just finding his feet once again. And if he plays next week, he'll have more match practice. He'll be a little bit more match fit, so to speak, because he hasn't had a lot of time training with his teammates in match simulation. But get him out there next week, regardless of the result, and he can really make an impact. He's a live wire. He had a lot of the football, but just wasn't effective with it.
They made the tough call, Curley, obviously, in the fact that not bringing Higgins back. Hamish Freeze had a breakout season. It was written in the West today. I was surprised. I mean, I did raise my eyebrows. I was there at a cafe in Lathlane and thought, well, that is a big call to put that faith in that, as such a young player. But he stood up today. I mean, Eastland's kind of shading the hit-outs at the moment, but Eastland's doing more around the ground. I think he's had much more of the footy as well, laid a few more tackles. So that's something they're going to need to address. I just think the midfield has to get sorted because I think, they, even though it's not statistically, I think talent-wise, they've got probably more in across half forward and full forward, the Bulldogs at the moment.
They do. You're absolutely right.
But the Tigers are so dangerous because, and you can see, they've got 6 individual goal kickers this afternoon. So, the Bulldogs have got, I think, the better quality players, but it's just those role players that are stepping up better at this stage for the Tigers.
Now, just before we get to our halftime package, obviously footy finals here in WA in full swing, a massive festival of football in the month of September and at the start of October. We must say a big congratulations to the Melbourne Football Club, their first grand final in 21 years.
Yeah.
And no doubt 3 people in particular will be very proud. Barassi,
Yeah.
the late great Norm Smith, and Neil Danaher. Get Neil Danaher over to Perth and let him see his team win the premiership.
Look, it was tremendous. I'm not sure if you got... I managed to get to the game. Took my father-in-law to the game last night. We sat right behind the goals. Unfortunately, it was at the other end when Max Gawn kicked his 4 goals. But he kicked his first one on the run. It's probably the best goal I've seen from a ruckman. And everything he touched turned to goal. I've never seen Geelong play so poorly, but I think it was purely down to the to the surgical sort of precision of Melbourne. So unbelievable.
Man, they were nothing short of magnificent, Melbourne, last night in front of 58,000 over there at Optus Stadium. Who will join them? Well, footy fans will find out tonight in the Bulldogs Port Adelaide prelim at the Adelaide Oval.
I've managed to get a ticket for the big dance.
You lucky fella.
It's cost a little, but I figured it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I was fortunate enough to go to the Eagles Collingwood Grand Final in 2018, where I got tickets a day before the game.
A day before.
That literally fell into our lap, but I just figured I think it's going to be a belter. I'm going with the Bulldogs in an upset tonight.
Well, Bulldogs, I'm going the other way. I'm going with Port Adelaide. But while we ponder that, let's get to our halftime packages. Basil Bulldog, the mascot of the South Fremantle Bulldogs, does his thing. In round 17 at Leederville Oval, Subiaco took on West Perth, and we sent our super slow-mo camera boundary side. So let's take a look at some fantastic vision of the players in full action, thanks to the team at Front Row Screens.
Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Waiting for a touch, you say no day. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Waiting for a touch, you say no day.
Super slow-mo footage thanks to the team at Front Row Screens. Your number one in 2021. Not just with the best local sport in WA, but also the best LED screens in the business. If you've got a big event coming up and need of an LED screen that is big on size and high on quality, you give a hold of Matt Williamson, you give him a call, and the team at Front Row Screens will do you a magnificent deal. Front Row Screens, your number one in 2021. Half-time here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. It is the Tigers, last year's runners-up, leading the Premiers to 6-6-42 to 2-6-18. The goal scorers, of course, England is one of the goal kickers for the Tigers. He has got one. Mountford has also got another. Spivey, Rogers and Mountford also goal kickers for the Tigers, and Donaldson and Miller are the only ones for South Fremantle. Paul Purse again, Matt Chechens with you in the commentary box as we see the families and the little leaguers as well have some fun at halftime. We must say, Matty, you know, we do feel sorry for those over in the eastern states, you know, especially in the midst of, you know, the VFL being cancelled and also the VFL Women's Grand Final being cancelled because of the lockdown. We're very lucky in this state, you know, to have action here and to see these great families and little leaguers enjoying all the action in this September afternoon. Makes everybody here in WA realise how fortunate we are as a state, given what's been going on in the last 18 months.
Yeah, big time. And obviously, yeah, it is such tough times at the moment. If you are joining us from over on the East Coast, we do send our best wishes. And it's only something that we've only had a brief taste of, luckily, over here. And that was the, you know, going into a lockdown in that situation. But look, the youngsters are out there enjoying it at the moment. One of my good colleagues, Kim Strawn, I know that her son's out there strutting his stuff at the moment.
We saw your little boy out there one week having a good kick of the footy.
Yeah, look, he's only 2 years old, but he can. Well, he's predominantly left-footed, which I am, but he loves his footy. My father-in-law played for the Tigers, as in Richmond, and also West Perth, your mob. But he's decided to go for Richmond in the AFL, and I've managed to weasel him into going for the Perth Demons at the moment. But he was so keen to go to the footy with us last night. I said, just watch out for us at TV, on the TV, but he couldn't see us, obviously.
Which is unfortunate, which is a bummer. Yeah. I mean, you would have been seen on the TV countless times, make no mistake about that. We're going to take a break, but when we do come back, all the second half action here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval, where it is the Tigers leading by 4 goals in this qualifying final, live on Front Row Screen Sport.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Here are some of the goals of this qualifying final, the first half of this qualifying final. 6 goals, 6-42. Claremont lead South Fremantle 2-6-18. Paul Persick and Matt Chechens with you on the opening match of the 2021 Optus WAFL Final Series. And Matt, both the teams are out for the second half of what's going to be a crucial qualifying final in the context of this final series. But at the moment, Claremont hold the ascendancy. Yeah,
and have a look. It's through the crumbing abilities there. That was a very clever hand pass from Isaac Barton, who kicked 3 goals against the Bulldogs back in round 14, but showed that he doesn't have to do it off his own boot. Slick hand pass. That was fantastic work in the ruck then from Tim House. I've been impressed with him, and right on cue here after a good mark, and manages to squeeze that one home at the moment. So they're just cleaner inside 50. This was a bit unfortunate for Carter. I mean, he's trying to do the right thing and maybe was a bit too quick for his own good and just falls to ground. And that allowed Donaldson a goal, and that was literally on the stroke of half time. So the Bulldogs, good bit of fortune for them. But look, their ability to close out games has been a big criticism of them throughout the year. They are the best. They were the best first quarter team in the competition, but they're going to have to do something that they haven't statistically done throughout the year, and that's to come back from behind at half time and from a pretty big margin. They usually got their noses in front at the moment, so they might be in that unfamiliar position of coming from behind.
It will be interesting to see how South Fremantle approach this third quarter, because the first 5-10 minutes are going to be very crucial to see if they can get at least 2 or 3 goals.
Who's your tip tomorrow, Paul?
West Perth, but only just. I reckon Swan Districts, with the side that they've got, are going to make it very competitive in the elimination final. Yes, I am.
Okay.
And it's going to be an absolute barn burner.
South Jurien?
No doubt.
South Jurien Bray, that'll be a great game.
That certainly will be.
Yeah, look, I think Swan Districts, they're just they're injury ravaged at the moment. Is there any word about the availability of Fisher or Frank the Tank?
No word that I've been able
Anderson?
to maintain at this stage, but we'll find out closer before the teams run out onto the ground for what is going to be a crucial game. Of course, the sudden death elimination final over at Joondalup.
It's the top 5 is brilliant. It throws up all these different scenarios, because you have a look at this. Two of obviously, the front runners of the competition, Subiaco, Paul, they haven't dropped below 3rd throughout the whole season. They've been on top since round 14. So for them to get the winner of this game and then a chance to go straight into the big dance, but 2 losses in a row for either of these teams, and that's it. Curtains.
Yep, straight sets right there and then. You talked about Subiaco as the teams break from their huddles. They've won many games. They've won 8. They've won 14 and have only lost 4, but not all their wins were smackings.
No.
They've been a few close wins, so they may have gotten top spot in the ladder, but haven't completely dominated the competition.
It's on the back of their defence. I mean, they give up less than 70 points per game, but if you have a look at their forward line, they're a little one-dimensional. They do rely on a lot of midfield goals. I know Harry Marsh has kicked a few this year, and obviously Sokol is their focal point. Not trying to be poetic there, Paul, but they're a little 1 or 2 dimensional coming forward, which is why I like the looks of the winner of this game today to actually book their spot in the grand final. And I mean, Claremont and South Fremantle don't have defences to sneeze at the moment. I know that defence wins championships, as they say in American sports or in Aussie rules, but sometimes you've just got to kick more goals than the other team.
That's guilty as charged. Most goals wins the game.
Yeah.
But it's all about the defence in some games as well. And, the defence for both sides, don't have a lot, in comparison compared to Subiaco, but it's all about that forward line. That's going to be critical. Should Claremont, hold on to this lead.
First game I ever saw at the MCG was 2002, and it was the Eagles taking on Collingwood, and the Eagles kicked more goals than lost.
Yeah, by just a point.
Yeah.
It was Mick Moldhouse's first game as coach for the season. Of course, John Worsfold's first away game as coach for the West Coast
Paul,
Eagles, and that was a thriller.
You're a walking Grey's sports almanac.
Oh, give me a break.
Yep.
But let's get back to the action, because the players are the stars on this Saturday afternoon.
I might just nickname you Biff from now on.
6-6 plays 2-6 as we get the second half underway. The winner to go through to the second semi-final next week. An all-important third quarter coming up. They call it the Premiership Quarter. Eastland and Free both get an even palm down. Hard tackle being applied there by Spivey on the edge of the square. We'll have a repeat in proceedings. The crowd starting to get back into their seats now. What is going to be a big second half of football. Eastland tries to gather it on the second bite. Ball extracted. Out to Lim. He gets caught in a hard tackle. The umpire says, give it to me. Crucial second half. Also, not the only game in the finals we've got this week. Tomorrow, the elimination final between West Perth and Swan Districts. That'll be a barn burner. The hand pass comes out to Schleuf. Dragovic releases McQuilkin. Kicks down the line, but only as far as Mountford with the intercept. He read that one brilliantly in front of the pack. Mountford will reset things for the Tigers. Kicks down the line to the path of Bolton, and he takes a good mark. And he's going to go inboard and look for some space. Hardesty. He's on the run. He'll kick from 65 metres out towards Carter. Couldn't take the mark, but the second target was Big Tim House, and he'll have a shot from about 40 metres out. Tim House has come into some great form as of late. On his 6th game of WAFL League football, and what a time to do it. Now this will be for his second goal, if he can put it through and get the margin out to 30 points. Important kick here to start this second half. From directly in front, straight through the middle. House starts things off well for the Tigers. And the margin now out to 30 points as we hit 2 minutes on this third quarter on the comms system scoreboard. Matty, you couldn't ask for a better start for the Tigers.
Yep, the dream start. First multiple goal kicker of the afternoon, thanks to CD Dodd. Next couple of goals a must. Don't want to sound like Captain Obvious, but plenty of people tuning in this afternoon. Thanks for joining us wherever you are around the globe. Qualifying final.
Got some great viewers interstate as well during the first half as well, so shout out to those that are watching from interstate and around the world as well. Getting some good viewers and feedback worldwide. So Claremont have got the first goal of the second half. They lead it by 30 points. Biggest lead in the game. The Tigers in complete control as Miller gets the tap out. Players roving the football like a pack of wild dogs. It's going to be a repeat in proceedings just on the edge of the bullseyes here.
Give a shout out to Michael Doncaster, who's watching live from Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, how good.
He says, come on, doggy. So hopefully your boys can spark up in this third term.
Beautiful place in the world, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Eastland in free. Free got the tap out, but roving it well was Hardesty. Around the bullseyes, he kicks long towards the edge of the 50. Bullock couldn't take the mark. It comes out to England. He has attack of the fumble. Strom can't take clean possession. No free kick. Close to the boundary line. Spivey taken over by Mascos and will have a boundary throw-in. Be a throw-in close to the centre square. It'll be about 70 metres out from the Tigers' goal. Easton in front with a two-handed tap. Gets it back from Hardesty. Kicks across his body. It's an up and under kick. 2-on-1 contest. Fine mark. In fact, it's a free kick. Buller not too happy with that one. But nonetheless, the free kick will be taken by Noah Strom on the right back pocket. 30 points is the difference as we hit 4 minutes in this third quarter, thanks to Comsystems.
Well, Carl Mix, thanks for joining in, says, if South lose, are they out? Definitely not. They'll play the winner of Swan Districts and West Perth, which takes place tomorrow at Arena Joondalup.
We also got a shout out from Mark Walters. He says, what a brilliant job Front Row Screens do for their match day football. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate your support.
Green Stars. We've got another stoppage on the outer side of the ground, 7-6 to 2-6. So an even 30-point margin is the biggest of the afternoon. And Kane Mitchell just going through his paces, and Martinez as well as Isaac Barton. Three handy players to have on the interchange bench at the moment, just warming, keeping warm and limber. Huge crowd.
Magnificent crowd.
So ball up. Free won it down, but no real advantage. And they tumble to the floor, and guess who? Hardesty at the bottom of the pack.
Just off camera inside forward 50 for the Bulldogs. Donaldson's being matched up by Lucy, so it could be a big match-up should the ball go their way.
Subin with the clearing kick. Out towards Miller, who was impeded. So he wins the free kick. 2.5 disposals from goal. They need a response, and they need to make things happen quickly to the Bulldogs. And there's Shaw. That's his first mark of the afternoon. And coming up for just his third disposal. It's been well held. Spearing ball is a good one. Through the hands of Strom, however. Tigers, oh, that's going to be holding the ball. So Matty Parker, that's why he is so effective, and that's why he was picked up in the mid-season draft. Had some moments of brilliance early in his AFL career for St Kilda before coming back and then getting picked up by the reigning premiers. We can still say that, at least for another 2 weeks. In the Richmond Football Club.
This will really spark the Bulldogs if he can kick it.
And he is a tremendous young man. I remember meeting him 3 or 4 years before he got drafted. Dedicated. He needs to kick this, and he has. Well, he literally came out of quarantine in the last 24 hours or so and managed to put that one through. And thanks to CD Dodd, let's have another gaze at this Matthew Parker set shot. He's very good on the run, and he can show that he can do it and be composed as well.
He got close to the man on the mark, I'll say that, but he was able to hook that one pretty well.
So that could be the catalyst that sparks the Bulldogs into action. That's his 8th goal of the season, despite playing in the AFL. 6th game of WAFL finals, originally from Melville. Melville Hawks playing the green and the gold. Tough little competition there. You know, the Burragoon Bulldogs are there, the Adderdale Bombers. That's where Cale Hooker started his journey in AFL footy. Applecross Hawks as well. Skew-if bounce from the umpire will be recalled. Matt Adams, Trent McPhee and Ryan Shelton, congrats to them for making the pointy end of the season. The umpiring standard's been brilliant throughout the year. So he throws this one aloft and Eastland won it down towards Bolton. Hand pass partially smothered. Mitchell getting active now, but that's going to be chopped off. He's put under a lot of pressure. Now Schlensog was at right half back, screaming for the footy, didn't come. This could be a crucial turnover. Subin with his head over the footy, lost his feet to Miller. They link up. Bletcherton will get it back now. Back towards the run of Aiden Hall, who's running out of tarmac. Ball still somehow stays alive, and the Tigers create the turnover. Questionable hand pass coming in. It's either holding the ball or holding the man. It is the former, and Manfred Kelly had a good couple of final rounds to round out his home and away season.
So Kelly on right half back. He's going to set it up down the line towards left centre wing. 1-on-1. Miller tried to keep it in front. Couldn't hold on to that one. And it's going to be a throw-in. We're able to gain about 40 metres there off that kick from Kelly. But they need about 2.5 disposals to get to goal. It was their first goal since late in the second quarter. But the Bulldogs would love another one to get themselves back in the game. Another turnover created by the Tigers. They steer clear 15 metres. Barton gets boot to ball. Kick partially smothered. Well gathered by Mascos. He fires the hand pass. And the Dogs, they go across the ground. Motlop couldn't get that one, but he was impeded. And a free kick is going to go Motlop's way. They're wanting 50, but they're not going to get it. Motlop goes wide, finding Bletcherton. Bletcherton, nice little dummy there. And he's going to dash towards the forward 50. Kicks long. Like it says about 15 metres out, leaping high. Punched to the back. Ninyet breaks through the tackle, goes for goal and puts it through. Big goal from Ninyet. That's his first of the afternoon. And the crowd comes alive for the number 9. He's showing up to the party, and the margin just like that is back to 18 points.
Paul, you said at half-time he's a little quiet, but he only needs half a yard. So Bletcherton, that fly there, come off the fist and have a look at this. Little sidestep, and Ninyet. For the first time this afternoon, the Bulldogs have kicked back-to-back goals, and they've needed to do that, and a couple more. So the crumbing forwards in Parker and Ninyet have kicked the first 2. Shaw's taken his first contested grab as well, so things starting to fall into place for the Bulldogs. Donaldson there on screen as well, and the unfortunate spoil from Thomas Baldwin. I mean, he rose high, slid off the back of his knuckles and back in towards the goal square, and Ninyet was on hand. So back-to-back goals. We're back in the middle. Free on the second attempt, slapped it straight up. Back to Eastland, to Bolton. Met Hebel as he kicked. Coming up the way of Mountford. Can he escape the would-be tackler? He can, but that's a dangerous hand pass. Martinez ran into 2 Bulldogs. Now Bletcherton's running out of room. Somehow manufactures the hand pass. Schluth held without it. The umpire said play on. Kelly to Dragovic. They link up. Here comes Manfred Kelly. Well, you had Parker with the hand pass, elected to scrub one. Inside 50. Is that in the back? Ninyet's come to life. Paul Persick, my trusted colleague, saying that's in the back, but the umpire didn't think so. Well, in fact, he has paid it. So it ends up in the hands of Baldwin. Goes across goal. Interesting attempt at the mark here. They had a 2-on-1. Have they cocked this one up? Yes, they have, because the intercept mark is taken at left half forward, and they go. Subin towards the kick-off line, and he's got off the leash. Again has Parker. Declan Mountford shakes his head in disbelief, and Subin with a quick play on, thanks to CD Dodd. Let's have a look at this. He was set upon by Edwards and then just kicks to the hot spot.
Look at the protection being applied by
Yeah.
Strom against the Claremont defender, giving him no chance to get anywhere near Parker for the spoil. That was brilliant.
So Matthew Parker to kick 2 in the space of 4.5 minutes. Much closer than his last effort. Tremendous reader of the drop of the football. And a lovely set shot. Bulldogs, 3 in a row there, beginning to lick their lips. And the Tigers, all of a sudden, their clearance game is starting to falter a little.
CD Dot replay here of Parker's kick. Beautiful follow through. And he knew the moment that it went in. He went for the single cobra this time. But he knows that the job is far from done.
So Dragovic up to 17 disposals, Subin with 14. Jason Mascos has just quietly accumulated 13 disposals. Jai Bolton with 18 and Hardesty with 16. He's laid 11 tackles as well, but the inside 50s knotted at 27 apiece. And that margin back to just 2 straight kicks, Paul.
They've levelled it up here, the Bulldogs, in the inside 50s, but still 2 goals behind. Florenka, hand pass out to Free, the kick towards the forward 50. Smallwood, the taller one here against Motlop. But Motlop won it out, got ball to ground level. Miller Martinez, high tackle, and it's paid. Free kick will go the Bulldogs' way.
No, I don't think Anthony Davis can really argue with that. Is it Motlop, the recipient?
Yes, it is.
Well, he's got 5 goals from 4 games. Pretty handy start to a WAFL career.
It certainly is. Only his 5th league game, originally from the South Coogee Football Club.
Not even 18 years old by the looks of it.
No.
23, 21, yeah.
But Motlop, this will be for 4 in a row. 45 metres out.
Oh, that's a lovely
It's a
kick.
goal! What a goal from Motlop! He just had to back himself in from just inside the 50, and he's got 4 in a row for the Bulldogs. And now it's back to 6 points. 42 plays 48. 14-minute mark of this 3rd quarter. South Fremantle have really turned the tide. As we see on the CD Dot replay, he just had to run around his opponent. He's using the man on the mark rule to great effect. And in fact, to maximum effect. As Motlop has got another one, South Fremantle have kicked 4 goals in the space of 12 minutes.
And a bit of a breeze blowing back into his face on that attempt at goal, and I thought from his run-up I thought he's not going to have the leg, and then as it approached the padding of the big sticks, it managed to just float through. Tremendous finish.
Certainly was for young Motlop. He started to make a big imprint in this game. But watch out for him in that forward line if he gets the ball in his hand.
It's been a game of runs, hasn't it?
Certainly has been. Bolton with the clearing kick. Comes towards half forward. Hall couldn't get a bite of it. Schlensog, great ovation by Schlensog, the former Geelong listed player. The hand pass comes out to Schloith. Back out to Bletchenden. Goes down the line towards the attacking side of centre. A little mess up there from Barton. Over the top to Mitchell. Hardesty. Hospital hand pass. Donaldson. It comes out there to Dragovic. He snaps around the corner. It fires the way at Motlop. Good gather by Motlop from around the corner, but that's a free kick. The umpire's paying a free kick.
Trip.
And that it was a trip, you are right. It's going the Tigers' way.
Against Cody Ninyet.
And the boos evident at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Hardesty goes down the line. Finding the fellow Hardesty and Jarrett. He fires the hand pass out to Martinez. Martinez goes down the line.
Great kick.
Brilliant mark by Big House. It was a good kick indeed. House is going to go inboard, and that was a great kick as well to the path of Rogers, and the mark's been paid.
Yeah, and good running from Rogers too, because he started well back inside the middle, almost near the bullseyes, and his hard running gets rewarded. And you can have a look, he's sucking in the big ones.
He is a hard runner, not just in the midfield, but also up forward. So for Rogers...
Well, we don't want to talk it up too much. I mean, we're 16 minutes into the 3rd, thanks to Com System scoreboard, but this is a huge kick because this will stem the flow of goals. It's all been to the right of screen.
It certainly has been. And the breeze is still pretty stiff out here at Fremantle Oval. So Rogers for his 2nd. Just inside the 50, it's coming back, and he's put it through. Rogers gets a crucial goal for the Tigers. It stems the flow. that the Bulldogs established at the start of the quarter. The margin back out to 12, 54-42 at the 17-minute mark of the comm system scoreboard in this third quarter. Let's have a look at the CD dot replay. Rogers, he had to give it everything, and he certainly did from just inside the 50.
He likes that end of the ground because both goals have been kicked to the left of screen, and both have not looked like missing off the boot. 2-goal buffer is restored, 8-6 to 6-6 thanks to comm system scoreboard.
Now with the Bulldogs' run being stopped by the Tigers with that Rogers goal, what do they have to do just to keep going with them? Because that was the goal that they did not want to concede off that free kick from Ninyet.
So Paul Persick, Matt Hitchens here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. A couple of die-hard Tigers fans underneath.
They must be fans of yours as
They
well.
are. They're actually my cricket teammates, Kevin and Ryan Day. They are tremendous batsmen, I'll give you the tip. Back in the middle, believe that Kevin lives with the young Miller, the big ruck, so he sings his praises quite highly at training. Shaw, that's his second mark. He's coming to life in this third term. Schleuf dangerously loitering on 50. Free was ignored, but they go to Parker. Instead, the mark's going to be taken. They could have raffled it.
Strong.
In the end, and it's Big Strom who takes the mark. And a golden opportunity to, again, halve that margin. As you have a look, Parker was out. I think he was the intended target, to be fair. And Strom goes back, uses every bit of his 198 centimetre frame. 6 goals, 4, so he's running just over 50%. Talented family of the Stroms, and it doesn't show it there, he misses.
That's a lucky break.
Yeah, it is for the Tigers, and that pulls them within 2 straight kicks.
Martinez will bring it back into play. The Tigers now under a little bit of pressure as Hardesty goes long towards left centre wing, but they cough it up. McQuilkin takes a fine mark on left centre wing. They can set up some options now. McQuilkin, high kick, targets coming in. Shaw is one of them. Couldn't take the mark. Kelly tries to break free, but he's brought to ground. All in dispute. Martinez trying to get a hold of it, but the umpire says, I will have it. Big run of goals by the Bulldogs. They kick 4 in a row after 7 minutes, and now they are within 11 points of the Tigers. Bolton gets slung with it by Kelly. Follows it up with another strong tackle. He's had some big moments, is Manfred Kelly. The umpire will have another ball up. They'll contest about 40 metres out from their goal. One more goal for the Bulldogs, and it's going to be anybody's game in the final term. Strong gets second bite of it. The hand pass intended for Bletchenden. Bundled out in a good tackle by Spivey. He's not going anywhere further. Crowd really starting to make some noise on this Saturday afternoon. Tap comes to Spivey. He gets caught in a tackle by Bletchenden. He's pinged. Holding the ball. Bletchenden will get the free kick. And this will be for a chance for South Fremantle to further stem the tide.
Well, this will be his 14th touch to go along with 6 tackles, and none more crucial than that one, Bletchenden.
He's provided some very strong tackles all afternoon. He's gotten plenty of the football, but this will be a very important kick. He's going to have to give it everything, just like Motlock, that last goal that South Fremantle kicked. So Tom Bletchenden, to put them 5 points behind, goes long. It's long. It's a goal. Tom Bletchenden gets another one. South Fremantle have 5 in the third quarter, and now they're within 5 points at the 20-minute mark of this qualifying final, thanks to comm systems.
Well, 2 unbelievable set shots from 2 of the younger players in the side at the moment, literally on the paint of 50, and carried every inch of it.
And look at him, again the single cobra, and knows that South Fremantle are right back in this game. They've kicked 5 goals to 2 in this third quarter. And my goodness, these next 5 or 10 minutes are going to be essential to where the game is heading this afternoon.
Well, Parker with 2 this term, Jesse Motlop, Ninyet and Bletchenden.
I also have to say as well, it's another thriller we got here. What's going on here?
Well, it's just wherever we seem to travel, there's a tight contest. So we're back in the middle. Free taking on Eastland. It's been a great duel. Neither ruckman can get the decisive whack on the footy. Bolton to Mitchell, turns it over. Schleuf off a step, inside 50. Ninyet had the jump on him from the defender. Keeps it in front of himself. Well done, Ryan Lim. Good, strong tackle. No prior opportunity. Also in on the scene is Anthony Davis.
The Bulldogs are again continuing to flood that forward zone. Again, staying on their men, their opponents, and making sure that they're creating those opportunities.
Approaching 22 minutes of the premiership quarter.
Also a couple of the team numbers as well. South Fremantle are in front on the inside 50s, 31-28. Hit-outs 32-36, and South Fremantle have edged ahead in the tackle, 63-62.
Despite what the windsock says, the team attacking the goal to the right of your screen tends to win the inside 50s each quarter. It's kind of like a tennis match at the moment. Free gets him another entry inside 50. How will the umpire see this one? The death roll put on Parker. Could not evade that tackle on this occasion. He trots back 10 metres ahead of this stoppage. Free out the back. Oh, well done. That was a fantastic tackle by Spivey. And they turn it over. Mitchell through the bullseyes. A one-on-one inside 50. Good composure. And finds Tim House. He's having a tremendous game. They're all starting to flood forward. Carter's all alone. And that's where the kick's going to go, but it fell short. And straight down the throat of Jason Mascos. Chance goes begging for the Tigers.
Yeah, Carter was the lone target, but they say too little too late. And South Fremantle are going to get a wriggle on very quickly. It's on left centre wing. Hand pass out to Subin with the left foot to the path that Kelly reels it in nicely with the one hand. Kelly towards left half forward. Goes looking for Shaw. Lucy in front. They collide. And it's a free kick going the way of Lucy. And Claremont will again catch a lucky start on this occasion, because that was, again, brilliant ball movement.
And this man on camera right now, Jack Lucy, had a tremendous second term. Gone a little quiet in this quarter, but we'll expect a big final turn from him.
Lucy down the line to left centre wing. Getting a fist on it was free. Close to the boundary line. Kelly, great effort for him to gather the football at ground level. He was caught by Mitchell. What's the umpire going to say? He says, I'll have it. 5 points the difference in favour of the Tigers. 24 minutes on the comm system scoreboard. It's been another thrilling contest. What's even better, it's the first week of the WAFL finals. Kick towards the attacking side of centre. And it goes over the line. Wilson was the one that took it over the line for a throw-in. Last couple of minutes, possibly, of this third quarter. Breeze still blowing quietly here at Fremantle Oval. Eastland in front, got the tap out. At ground level was free. Bolton charging hard at the footy at ground level, but the umpire says, I'll have it. Stoppage after stoppage at the moment. Claremont wanting to ease the pressure that has been put on them after this strong third quarter by the Bulldogs. Schleuf, was he held without it? Umpire calls play on, and it's a free kick going the way of the Bulldogs. Schleuf was held without it, and the late call was made by the umpire. Schleuf will get things going for the reigning premiers.
This will just be his 12th disposal, but he offers so much around.
Certainly does. Strong couldn't get the mark cleared. Lim, hand pass out to Martinez. Well stood up in the tackle, but he's under pressure. Kelly. Out to Bletchenden. Bletchenden goes for the short pass. Intended for Donaldson, no mark. Ball bounces unfavourably for a couple of players. Martinez goes in hard. Put out of it by Subin. And the umpire says, give it to me.
That was a good spoil from behind. Last forward 50 entry for South Fremantle.
And they need a big goal here, South Fremantle. Could they get it on the siren? We're not too far away from that, Claremont. They just need to keep on piling on the pressure. The kick comes into Miller. Miller, beautiful hand pass. Under pressure, out to Baldwin. Baldwin's high kick towards the half-back line for the Tigers. Barton hacks it forward. Spivey, unfavoured by the bounce. Well read by Schlensog. Hand pass to Pearson, goes back to Schlensog. Schlensog snaps it around the corner. Nice one-hander. Up against Rogers. The one-hander is taken by Bletchenden. He's had himself a big third quarter. And South Fremantle are on the move. Towards the half-forward line, and Shaw. Shaw with a magnificent mark. And Shaw, he too is starting to come to life in this third quarter.
We called for it at half-time, but it's just better composure. And Schleuf, he hasn't had much of the football, but that's his best disposal by far. Just stabbed it in front. No chance for the defender to get there. And now they're just going to wax the footy, these two.
He's dropped it short and finds Hayden Schleuf. And he's going to be on a very tight angle And he'll kick from about 45. This kick may bring the house down. If he can put this one through as we're nearing siren time. Aidan Schleuf, he's been held well in the first half. He elects to go short again. And finds Mason Shaw. They're just waxing it, as he said. Left, right and centre. So Mason Shaw, this will be for his first goal if he can thread it. And for also South Fremantle to lead for the first time since the opening quarter. And Mason Shaw, he's just taking his time. What a season he's had, leading from the front as captain.
Big kick, isn't it?
If he kicks this, it'll bring the house down, but it just sways to the right-hand side, 4 behind. So another lucky break for the Tigers. It is now 4 points the difference in favour of the Tigers, and Martinez will bring it back into play. He's been held down in this third quarter, but he's got a few players presenting. Where is he going to go to? They're just wanting to chew up as much time as possible. So he's going to play on. Long towards the wing. Good pressure by Strong. Players going in hard. Eastland goes high at the football. And now the Bulldogs with numbers at the back. Comes out to Dragovic. Kelly leaping high, no mark. This is a great effort from Kelly. He goes to ground. He's under pressure. Finds the hand pass out. And over the line goes Ninyet. We'll have ourselves another boundary throw-in. Maybe the last few seconds of this third quarter.
Thought Ninyet was going to scissor kick the boundary line then. He was a long way out of play.
Bit of martial arts stuff there.
He's nicknamed the Ninja. 28 minutes. Can they get a late one to set up what will be a grandstand fourth quarter on front row screens? Hardesty fell to the turf. And there is the siren. We turn for home. Do not go anywhere. Why would you? Paul Persick, it is game on. And we see a big lead of the Tigers, a 4-goal lead at that, evaporate to just 4 points. That was one turn to play, 8-6 to 7-8, 15 scoring shots South Fremantle, and we are set for a grandstand finish.
It was a massive third quarter by the Bulldogs. They kicked 5 goals to 2 in that third quarter, led by, of course, Bletchenden late. Motlop was able to get a goal in. Ninyet and Parker starting to come to the party as well. Claremont's lead evaporated. They are now under pressure and on the back foot despite leading by 4 points. We are turning for home in the final quarter. It is 4 points the difference in this qualifying final here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Don't you dare go anywhere. You're going to be in for a hot grandstand finish here on Front Row Screen Sport. Right back after this for the final quarter of this qualifying final.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au.
We're turning for home here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. 4 points the difference in favour of the Tigers over the reigning premiers in this qualifying final of this WAFL season 2021. Paul Persick and Matt Chechens with you. Man, a game of football can have so many twists and turns, Matt, and we saw it right there and then in the third quarter. 5 goals to 2 for the reigning premiers, and they are back to within a kick. And my goodness, is it going to be a hot shoe finish?
Yeah, look, the Tigers had +2 in the inside 50s at the main break. Paul, they've now swung that back in their favour. 6 more inside 50s, and off the back of just some brilliance that was sparked by Matthew Parker. That's what he can provide, and that's why he's a player at AFL level, thanks to CD Dodd. We'll have a look at some of the goals throughout the afternoon, but he's up to 2 goals. Jesse Motlop, a superb set shot from all of 50 metres. Ninyet, after some good work in the pocket, some good crumbing as well. And then Bletcherton, who all of 52 metres, after a good mark from him, and they just look so much cleaner. It's like chalk and cheese at the moment as far as their game plan, their game style. They've cleaned up their ball use. They've brought one of the best forwards in the competition back into the game. They've lowered their eyes rather than pulling out the one driver out of the golf bag and just launching to the hot spot. They've just started chipping their way around the 50-metre arc, and they're being a little bit more patient, as we see there. And Matthew Parker getting on the end, and Ninyet's finally starting to get a bit of scoreboard reward for his efforts throughout the afternoon. And I just think Bletcherton was superb in that third term, not just with this set shot. This is young Motlop, as we have a look at that. But he's up to 16 disposals, so rarely sighted in that first half. And they've thrown this man in Blake Slenshog down back, and then Schleith, not as many possessions as what we're probably accustomed to. And this was a rare entry inside 50 that term, and a polished finish from Rogers. What a season he is having.
Definitely a front runner for the Sandover medal.
Yeah.
Speaking of the possession getters, Jacob Dragovic has got 21 up to the third quarter. Nicholas Subin has 16. He got plenty of it in the third. Bletcherton had 16, including that crucial goal late. Schleith only held to 14. So he's held down quite well, but his impact when he's got the football has been very effective, especially late in that third quarter.
I love giving credit to the white-collar workers, those ball winners, but let's have a look at the blue-collar men that are at the coalface. In Hardesty, he's laid 13 tackles, and Jake Florenka, 12 tackles there to three-quarter time. So just a shout out there to the grunt around the ground, and those two gentlemen literally going nose to nose. So, geez, I tell you what, I'm still going to stick with Claremont, only because they're kicking to the scoring end of the ground in this fourth term.
I'm still going to stick with South Fremantle. That third quarter run is going to motivate them.
Be a bit stubborn with your tips, Paul.
Well, I've got to be at times. It's finals football. If it was the Perth Demons, it might have been a different story for you.
Oh, you had to get that cheap shot in, didn't you?
Well, because West Perth beat your mob last week. I'm still awaiting that mocker.
As did most of the other teams in the competition, unfortunately. An injury-ravaged season for my beloved Redlegs. Tell you what, though, it is a tremendous suburb to go and walk your young family around. My son can go down and kick on the ovals. He loves it. Plenty of cafes and things like this. And
awfully good.
Tell you what is also awfully good, the cafe strip here in Freo.
Oh, no doubt about it.
No doubt that the people will be leaving the ground and heading to the various spots around.
And the Port City has certainly turned it on today. Beautiful sunshine across the ground, a great crowd in.
Almost approaching our record at front row screens.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, if we had a still of our producer's face, the barbecue baker himself, and Matt Williamson, if we put that on the corner, we would easily rake in the viewers and get over the line, I would say.
Certainly will, but we do thank our fans for viewership across West Australia, Australia and around the world.
There's people from overseas. Yeah.
Incredible. Well, viewers around the world, get yourself set, strap on the seatbelt, ease the seat back, click it into gear and go in overdrive, because this is going to be a grandstand finish, ladies and gentlemen. Only 4 points the difference in favour of the Tigers. A big half hour of football coming up. Who will go through to the second semi-final next week? It's all down to these final 30 minutes here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Eastland and Free will exchange once again. Eastland palms it down to the front. It comes to Bletcherton, but he in turn gets caught by Mountford. We'll have ourselves a repeating proceedings. We have ball up just on the edge of the centre square. Free again palms it down. He gets caught in a good tackle. Trying to extract the football from the contest, but it's a throw. Free kick will go the way of the Tigers. And it will be taken by Bolton. One of the touted front runners for the Sandover medal. He's got the ball along the bullseyes now. He's going to go long towards the half-forward line. Players fly. Schlensog, great mark. Schlensog has done it brilliantly in the defensive 50 today. Risky kick towards Kelly and brings it in nicely again with a one-hand. He's taken a couple of good one-handers today.
Flamboyant,
but also gutsy as well.
I love the zinc as well. Heading into cricket season almost.
Absolutely.
That kick is not good.
He put the mockers on him this time. But it's going to be a free kick nonetheless to Eastland. Right centre wing.
Fascinating duel with Free today.
Certainly is. It's pretty evenly matched. Eastland's kick towards right half forward. Good spoil from Schlensog. Comes to Martinez. Fires off the hand pass to Bolton. Kicks long, intended for Rogers. It's a 2-on-1.
Oh.
Rogers leaps high. He couldn't take the mark. The Bulldogs have numbers at the back of the football. Mascos hands it off to McQuilkin. He too has had a very good game.
Yeah.
McQuilkin fires it off to Schleuf. Schleuf at left half back. Sizing up his options now. Schleuf out to Motlop, who was magnificent in the final 5 minutes. In the third quarter, kicked that big goal from on the 50.
Are there more Seagulls than people here this afternoon?
No, I don't think so. Well, the Seagulls mostly also do come at cricket season as well, which we're not too far away from. Dragovic has the mark on the outer wing by a big sea of fans here, which is great to see in Western Australia. Mascos plays on, gets bumped off it as soon as he kicked it, bounces favourably for House.
Oh, well done.
Fires the hand pass off to Bolton, over the top to Martinez, and now the Tigers are away. Another entry inside their forward 50. Bounce favourably for Wilson. He's under pressure from Rogers. Great hand pass from the Claremont player. Goes out the back to Rogers, hugging the boundary line. Hand pass over the top to England. He can't break free on the tackle. The hand pass comes out to Rogers. Which way does he go? He goes onto the right foot from 30 metres out. It's coming back. I think he might put it through. No! Just missing for a behind. Rogers, what a great effort from him to keep the ball in space and in front of him. To swing it onto the right foot under tremendous pressure. Bit unlucky for Rogers not to get that goal. That could have been a real icebreaker.
Now, this is a big one because Martinez landed awkwardly. Kelly got to him right before he kicked in the middle of the ground before that last forward 50 entry. He has come off the ground hobbling. So we know that he's missed a lot of games this season, but we'll keep an eye on that interchange gate as Lim goes up the chimney flute inside 50 and Strom says we'll have a boundary throw in, spikes it over the line. He would be a big out in the latter stages of this game. Let's hope he's okay. Might just be a turned ankle, but Kelly was right on his hammer. Wasn't anything untoward, but he just may have landed awkwardly. We'll keep an eye on that. Subin went without it. Little stat pass, just backward of the wing, kicks blindly, straight down to one of the tallest members of the opposition in Eastland. Now Eastland's got options on his left shoulder, and that's where he goes. They can swing it out even further now. Hard running again from Jai Bolton. The man does not have an off switch. Lovely disposal.
He's like the Duracell bunny.
He is.
Or the Energizer bunny.
Got to get your brands right there, Paul. Little stabbing pass from Edwards back to that man in Bolton. Inside 50. Chaos ball busting out on the lead, taking a good mark is Buller. And we need to credit the South Fremantle defence because this man hasn't been on the end of too many balls inside 50, and this will take his very best effort, looking into the teeth of that breeze. And I'll tell you what, if he kicks this, we're just 4.5 minutes in. I know we've still got a lot of time, but you just see that 12 points in the final term. South Fremantle notorious for not running out games. Could be the difference. So Buller gets very close to the man on the mark. The ball just drifts across the face of goal and through for a minor score.
So one straight goal in it. 56 playing 50 at the 5-minute mark of this final term, thanks to Com Systems. Still anybody's game in this qualifying final. Mascos brings it back into play. Kicks to a big pack of players. Wonderful mark taken by Strong. Solid marking player on the defensive half. Is he going to go inboard? Not going to take the risk, but he elects to go short. Finds Miller. Miller plays on, swings onto the right foot. Beautifully smothered by Mitchell. That gives Claremont a moment. But Schleuf fires it back to Miller. It kicks towards right half forward. Shaw, the intended target. No mark. Good spoil from behind by Small. That allows Davis to go in. And the tackle being applied was a hard one. They're wanting holding the ball.
Bletchenden again.
They're not going to get it. And in fact, it went over the line as well.
So Eastland will contest this. He's going for hit out number 40. He's had 15 disposals and 6 tackles.
We are throwing on the edge of the centre square. It's on the forward half of the Bulldogs. Eastland gets the tap out to Bolton, and that is indeed Another hit out for Eastland. Rogers flying high and a great mark. And the Tigers are away. They got players streaming towards the forward 50. 1-on-1. Good defence by Strom, but equally is better the effort by Carter to get boot to ball. He got caught straight away. And it's a holding the ball decision. Free kick will go the way of McQuilkin for the Bulldogs.
I'll tell you what, he needed to stick that tackle and not ride his opponent into the ground, and unfortunately Carter pinged for holding the ball, but great tenacity.
Running back with a flight is Schloith. He takes a good mark and moves it on quickly. The Bulldogs would love a goal to level the scores. Long kick towards half forward. Target's running back with a fly to the ball. Motlop was one of them. Can he keep it in front? No, it's over the line for a throw-in. Luckily not to be conceded deliberate.
Well, you see those paid at AFL, surely that would be a little stiff, and he doesn't need much of a sight, does he, Motlop? Once he gets goal side.
It's on South Fremantle's forward 50. Free gets the tap out. That's an in yet. And there's a holding on. Free kick's going to go the way of the Bulldogs. And this, for the opportunity to level the scores, it'll be Cody Ninyet looking for goal number 2. Cody Ninyet, he's been held down quite well by the Tigers defence for the majority of the afternoon.
42 goals, 12 he's kicked, so statistically the odds are with him.
So Cody Ninyet for number 2. 35 metres out. And I think he's missed it. He has. It's across the face for a behind. So South Fremantle have another chance gone begging. The margin now is back to 5 points. 8 minutes into this final term thanks to the comm system scoreboard. Claremont just in front over South Fremantle.
Chuck Lucy brings the ball back into play. Oh, that's a heavy knock out wide.
Free kick.
Yeah, South Fremantle was definitely there. The umpire right on the scene. So another chance to reload. Players beginning to flood back inside defensive 50 for the Tigers. Kick to a big contest. Going up was strong. Couldn't take the mark. Well done, Donaldson. Fed it back to Motlop. Did that tackle slip high? I think it was Lim that applied that one. And we have another ball up. Good strong tackle from Ryan Lim.
2 behinds to 1 in the final quarter so far, so the first goal will be vital.
It was almost a carbon copy of the first term. Ninyet kicks under duress. Mitchell tracks that bouncing football. Players go to ground. Somehow it's been extracted. Mitchell goes again. They come piling in. Shaw with a heavy-handed work. Mitchell out wide with Kelly as well. They're in an arm wrestle. And the umpire calls an end to that literal arm wrestle, and will come in to toss it back up. 9 minutes have ticked over. You're on the front row screens. Matt Chechens and Paul Persick bringing all the action, thanks to comm system scoreboard as well. Clearing kick for the Tigers by Hardesty. Goes out of play, and it pitches inside the line, and a chance to draw breath. Another boundary throw in. Players looking back towards our screens into bright sunshine. Some of the heavy shadows begin to creep over the ground to the left of your screen. Haven't had a goal kicked in this 4th term. South Fremantle haven't led for a long time in this game. Mitchell clearing kick. That mark's paid, but he wants to play on. They move it down the non-broadcast wing. Coming out on the end of that one. Here's Tim House. Liked his game. Now that kick's got a lot of air on it. Asked a lot there of the Claremont midfielders, and they turn it over. So Donaldson marks. Backward of the wing, he's got Kelly. If he wants to draw a man, he does. Kelly will give it back to him now. Donaldson about to be closed down. Gets the kick inside 50, and that was a key mark. And it needed to be taken by Dylan Smallwood, and he read that beautifully.
Smallwood goes across the ground to find House, and he's going to slow things down. Wanting to chew up as much time as possible. Great game Tim House has played. He's played up forward and he's pushed down back for this final quarter, just needing a bit more tall timber to shut down the Bulldogs forwards as they did for the first half. House goes long down the line towards half back, getting a fist on it with Schloith. Players converging on the football. Rogers fires the hand pass at ground level. It comes to Hardesty. Low trajectory kick towards England. Couldn't take the mark. Great play by the Tigers. Manuel finds it. has a bounce onto the left foot. It goes to the path of Barton, running back with a fly to the football. Front and square goes Eastland. Clever tap on a Barton. He's going to go from point blank range and put it through the middle. That is a magnificent goal. Isaac Barton breaks the run, and Claremont go on to an 11-point lead at the 11-minute mark on the comm system scoreboard. Clever by Eastland to set that goal up.
Let's have a look at the CD Dodd replay. As Eastland, that is probably the best bit of tap work that we've seen throughout the afternoon. Nothing that Hall could do as Barton just speeds away. He does like playing the Bulldogs, kicked 3 in that round 14 loss. That one puts a lot of breathing room now on the scoreboard in what's been a low-scoring term.
And it puts
11 points.
And it puts a lot more pressure on the Bulldogs now. They need to kick at least 3 goals to steal the game.
Yep. So it was a 2-on-1, and Eastland could have easily have just tried to grab 2 hands on that footy. Instead, clever little deft bit of work there, and that results in a goal.
So a crucial couple of minutes coming up. The Tigers lead it by 11 points. It is still on for young and old. For the Bulldogs, they need to kick the next 2 if they are to get this game right to the wire. Mitchell goes high towards half forward. House leaps in front, no mark. Schlensog keeps steady at ground level. Goes for the kick, bounce unfavourably for Parker. Hardesty tries to keep it in front. In comes Carter. And so are a couple of Tigers hounding the Bulldogs. And it's going to be a ball up just by the bench. At the 13-minute mark of this final term, it's been an electric start to the final series. But it's not over yet. Eastland, another hit out for him. He takes it out of the ruck, and he's going to get the free kick for a dangerous tackle. And some of the Bulldogs fans are not happy with that one. The boos are ringing in once again. And Eastland will take the free kick on right centre wing with the Tigers leading by 11.
Record crowd tuning in on front row screens. Thanks for watching as Eastland puts them inside 50. That could almost be holding the ball too, and it is. Matty Parker doing it on both ends of the ground. Bailey Rogers barely put a foot wrong today, but he was ping holding the ball, trying to wheel away from that contest. Now, Parker, just on screen at the moment. Now, tremendous camera people behind the scene. He looks a little proppy, so he's going to play on by hand. Schlensog goes by left boot. High ball. Looking for Strong, but just ghosting in.
Great mark.
From the side is Dylan Smallwood. Loved his game today. I know he had a bit of a blind hand pass. And 50 metres. So Strong must have opened up his mouth. Bit of back chat. So,
I don't want to be too blunt, but that may cost South Fremantle the game.
And those ones, ill discipline as well. It's like chatting back to your teacher. It's just going to result in a bit of scab duty at recess or lunch. I don't imagine you've got much of that in your primary school days, Paul.
Not much in my time,
I think Matt Williamson would have been a prime candidate for scab duty back in the day. Smallwood. This could almost be an unassailable lead. It fades very late, and it's been palmed onto the left-hand post. That was looked to be going straight down the middle and through for a minor score. So we're back to a 2-goal margin, 14.5 play, courtesy of comm system scoreboard. And they bring it straight down the middle.
Free kick down the field.
Free kick down the ground. Okay, so the 50 metres paid. So a bit of ill discipline from both teams. Creeping in. Kicks up towards Miller, but it floats over his head. And the experienced Lim takes the intercepting mark to Mountford. Mountford in board. Hardesty. Almost approaching 15 tackles in the game. Not his best kick. Strong on the burst. End over end. Can't be marked by Miller, and it's paid on the second bite to Subin. Lowers the eyes off the side of the boot. Now, what can Ninyet do? He's hemmed in. He's got Schleuf there for company. Fires off the hand pass. Schleuf kicks down the line, and it just ricochets off the chest of Jack Lucy out of play for a boundary throw-in. South Fremantle still looking dangerous.
Yep, they're still in with a chance at the 15.5-minute mark. Throwing about 45 metres out from the goal. It was a wayward throw-in. Favouring Miller, he gets caught in a good tackle. What's the umpire going to say? He's not going to say anything except give it to me. Goal here for South Fremantle could bring them back into the game. But a goal for Claremont. The next one could say, see you later. And on to the second semi-final. Motlop gets caught in a strong tackle. That was by Hardesty. And the umpire says, I'll have it. Sun shining brightly down in Fremantle Oval. Miller goes for the snap, partly smothered. Plays flooding the football in that forward line. And another stoppage going the Tigers' way, stopping the bleeding. They need this goal, the Bulldogs. It'll be a vital one if they can get it. Miller gets the tap out. In comes Schleich, snaps towards goal. What a goal! Hayden Schleich, the champion of 178 games of league football, has kicked one. And that's his first of the afternoon. And it puts South Fremantle back to within a goal.
Well, the man from Katanning in his 15th WAFL finals appearance just read it beautifully off a series of hands, and he kicks his 22nd goal of the season, and none more important than that. Back to one goal. What happens if it's a draw, Paul? That's my question.
I've never experienced a draw in WAFL in my life, but you know, usually we'd either go into extra time or we'd play a replay.
So we can bill our lovely producer for overtime. Fingers crossed for the draw.
But either result will be great. I mean, it's great for football. It's a great advertisement.
They've played in some pretty even contests throughout this 2021 Optus season. We're back in the middle. Can the Bulldogs go and get back-to-back goals in this term? Schleich just paddles it to his own advantage. Lim caught him around the shoulder. The umpire didn't see it was on the other side. Nick Subin pleading to the field umpire for the free kick, not forthcoming. Approaching 18 minutes into this final term from Fremantle Community Bank Oval. Matt Chechens and Paul Persick. Hope you've enjoyed the call. Hardesty gets put on his backside but manages to get the effective kick. In goes Schleich. Strong tackle. No prior. Just having a look across the ground. Not too many players around the congestion on this occasion, but we will have another stoppage. So they've got some speed forward of the contest here at Kelly and also Ninyet, literally just 20 metres forward of the bullseyes to the left of your screen. This is where the ball's going to head. Schleich goes route one, straight down the middle. Looking for Motlop, was spoiled away from him. Donaldson. Can he keep the ball alive? And content again is Dylan Smallwood, as he escorts the ball out for a boundary throw-in. Ticking into almost the 19th minute of this enthralling contest, qualifying final. The winner to meet Subiaco, the loser to face tomorrow's winner of West Perth and Swan Districts. Lim goes with the round ball game, just hacks it. Gains 40 metres with the volley. That's an interesting kick. The up and under. Schlensog looking into the bright sunshine. Made a bit of a meal of it this time. Well done, Carter. Fed off the hand pass. And they're out now. This is Hardesty. He's got the runner now in England who can mark. Well, he doesn't in the end, but he paddles it in forward. He's got Carter over the top. He was wide open. You can have a look at him on screen there, Carter. He was wide open. And they turned it over, and a chance now for the Bulldogs to clear. Kelly in a foot race. Doesn't get a shepherd from Shaw. Shaw has to go in. He extracts the football. Met by Lim. Lim brings him to ground. And another stalemate on that outer side, right underneath the comm system scoreboard, which has Claremont out a goal to the good. 20 minutes gone. Final term.
Well, if it's a tie, we go into extra time. 2 5-minute periods for those that aren't familiar.
Paul, you've done amazing research work there on the phone.
You got to, even in crazy times like this. It's still a goal in it. 9-9 to 8-9. A goal will tie it for South Fremantle, but they need to be desperate. Only one goal has been scored each in this final term. Barton with the first, and then Schleich some 6 minutes later. It's going to be on for young and old, make no mistake about it. Mountford goes ground level. Bolton, was he pushed? Umpire said no. And he's going to get pinged. Holding the ball. Free kick will go the way of the Bulldogs.
Big decision.
Bolton pleading with the umpire, but
have a look at the amount of bodies that are on the turf.
There's a lot of them. It's like a big tangle. and the fans letting them know about, saying get on with it. Yeah. And here they go. Bledgerton kicks towards half forward, and the target's there. Miller with the mark just on the 50. He's wanting to go for it. He's going to back himself here, Miller.
Well, we've only seen, I think from memory, 2 set shots this afternoon, both off the boot of Rogers, that have been kicked. So the breeze will favour him. It's blowing pretty stiffly to the left of screen. This is a huge kick, Paul.
This to level the scores from on the 50. It's long. And it's across the face for a behind.
You could probably take the draw off the table.
Well, anything can happen. But still, I'd have to say there'd be about 5 or 6 minutes to go. The Tigers holding on by the skin of their teeth at the moment. The margin now 5 points. 9-9 to 8-10 as the ball is taken to right half back. The Bulldogs got the numbers around the football. A great mark taken by Miller. That's 2 great marks in the last minute. Miller's going to go to the hot spot. Players fly. Miller couldn't take it. Ball's at ground level. Strom buys the hand pass. It comes out there with the left foot towards the goal. Is he going to put it through? No! Another behind, so that's 2. This time it was Subin. This time it is 4 points now in favour of the Tigers. Good God Almighty, is this finals intensity or what? It's certainly being brought to you this afternoon. Lucy. Again. Goes to right half back for the Tigers. That's right, out of bounds on the full. Nothing but nothing. So this gives the Bulldogs another chance. Free kick will be taken by Schloith. Where is he going to go? Is he going to go to the hot spot again? There'll be players streaming. Schloith gets on with it. Kicks towards the forward pocket. Flying high is Miller. Can't pick the darn thing up. Couldn't get the clearing kick out. Bledgerton snaps around the corner from 40. Doesn't get all of it. It's a high pack. Players fly, no mark. Donaldson in front. He's going to swing on the left foot towards the goal. He's got it through. Donaldson has kicked it for the Bulldogs. Donaldson has his second, and the Bulldogs hit the front. What a goal from Donaldson. He got to the drop of the football, read it brilliantly, found space and swung onto the right foot, and that gives the Bulldogs the lead for the first time in over an hour and a half's play.
Yeah, not since the first term. Have a look at that. That is the chaos ball. You could see him just ghosting across limb. Hardesty couldn't get to him on time. He's been tremendous laying tackles. And that is a finish of the highest quality under immense pressure.
Well, no wonder here's a magic goal sneak for South Fremantle. That's number 2 for Donaldson. He's kicked 2 goals late in quarters. He kicked one late in the second quarter to stop the run for the Tigers after an unfortunate mistake inside the Tigers 50, and now he's kicked another one to put the Bulldogs back in front. What a cracking qualifying final it has been. 9-11 to 9-9 on this beautiful Saturday afternoon in September. Rucks go at it. Eastland got the tap out. He's caught alongside the bullseyes, players converging on the football, and the umpire says, I'll have it. The Bulldogs doing absolutely everything now to hang on to this slender 2-point lead. Hardesty breaks through the tackle, goes onto the left foot. Rogers, was he held? Umpire calls play on. Bullock keeps it in front. It goes off the ground. Manuel tries to gather. It's a 3-on-1 in favour of the Bulldogs, and it's going to go over the line. That's it! No, it's a throw-in.
So ball in, 25 minutes have travelled. You wouldn't imagine there's going to be much more time. I actually thought that was the siren, Paul. Could have sworn I heard a siren. But anyway, we don't want to have another siren gate. So a shallow throw in. Can the Tigers snatch a late one? Subin in on hands and knees. He's got to get rid of the football, does so. Only into the hands of a Tigers player. They scrag it forward. Taken to ground in a good tackle. Rogers fires off the hand pass.
That's ball.
Mountford.
That's gone.
Did he drop the footy? He did. Well spotted, Paul. Holding the ball. And a chance now for Claremont, rather the Bulldogs, and the old attack of the cramp here from the experienced Hayden Schloith.
Well, you've got to cut him some slack. Yeah. He's one of the most experienced players on the field.
He is. So clearly lacking in a bit of the electrolytes at the moment. So Schloith will just look to try and run down as much of this clock as he can as he clears towards the outer side. Mark could almost win it for South Fremantle, but they turn it over. Chance to run now. They're going to go back inside 50. Long, deep ball. The mark is needed. Schlensog couldn't take it. Ball down at ground level. Rogers sped away. Taking another good tackle. We wait on the umpire. And we'll have a ball in the dying embers of this game. 26 minutes travelled. Paul Persick.
It is not over until the siren says it's over. It's going to be a throw-in at about 35 metres out from the Tigers' goal. Both rucks miss it. Players converging on the football, and it's not going to go anywhere further.
Rogers begging for the holding the ball decision, but look, the Bulldogs are really standing up.
They certainly are indeed. Crunch time in this final quarter. We're in the dying embers. Free, clears it out of the defensive 50. 2-on-1 in favour of the Tigers. Miller couldn't get a second bite of the cherry. Wasn't slung without it. It's a free kick. It's going to go the way of the Tigers. It's going to go the way of Claremont. They've maybe got one more chance. Long kick towards the forward 50. Players will fly. Schlensog, one of them. Hardesty to the drop of the football. Out towards the goals. Free kick.
High tackle.
Free kick to the Tigers. Hardesty with the high tackle. This could win it for the Tigers if they can steer this one through.
Well, he's done it throughout the afternoon, hasn't he, Paul? He just gets his head over the footy. He knows one way, and that's forward. And he has won an opportunity, you would suggest, to win the game.
This could be the most important kick of his career.
He's kicked 3 goals, 2 on the season.
And there's the siren. That's it. Hardesty could be the hero for the Tigers. Jared Hardesty, he's played 70. He's the 78th game of football, and this could be the most important kick of his career. This to send Claremont into the second semi-final. The crowd letting Hardesty know it. Jared Hardesty, your time has come to win the game for the Tigers. From 35 metres out, your time.
Missed.
He's missed. He's missed. Hardesty has missed. The Bulldogs have gone up by a point. South Fremantle, the reigning premiers, have escaped by the skin of their teeth. They have won it by just 1 point here at Fremantle Community Bank Oval, 65-64. And good God, Matty Chechens, what a start to the final series.
Well, you couldn't have asked for any more, particularly the home supporters. They have snatched this game. They led in the early stages of the first term, Paul. They kicked the first goal of the afternoon thanks to Miller, before Claremont led at every change. And then South Fremantle, on the back of a massive third term, gave themselves every opportunity. Donaldson, the hero. Hardesty, obviously, with that opportunity to win. He's not a noted goal kicker, but he has had a tremendous game, it must be said. We'll just get some of the final numbers for you at the moment, but credit to the Tigers, boys. They made a beeline for Hardesty, and it looked as though it was hooking straight off the boot. You could see the goal umpire dancing to the left, but I think the Bulldogs have dodged a massive bullet there.
That is a massive bullet to dodge, considering how big a run Claremont went in the second quarter, kicking 4 goals to 1. We looked at it, and hang on, we thought Claremont, they were going to go on this massive run as they did last year in the second semi-final. But the way the Bulldogs were able to hang on in the crisis and contest every issue, especially with hanging on to that slender lead in the final entry inside their defensive 50, is a testament to why they are the reigning premiers of this competition.
So I'll talk you through some of the numbers for those of you watching in from around the world. Jai Bolton, 30 disposals this afternoon. He had 6 inside 50s. And then you have a look at Jared Hardesty, who had a chance to win the game. The legs must have been heavy. He's got 26 disposals.
What a game.
4 inside 50s, and he laid 16 tackles, which is a game high. Jake Florenka had 12 tackles. For the victors, well, Dragovic, for me, was one of their better players. He was so consistent throughout the afternoon, Paul. He ended up with 23 disposals, 4 inside 50s, and laid 4 tackles himself. And Tom Bletcherton, a coming-of-age game for him. 20 touches, 8 tackles and 5 inside 50s. But, I mean, if that is going to be what we're given a preview for the rest of this 2021 Optus final series, we're going to be in for an absolute belter, because tomorrow's going to be a tight game up there at Arena Joondalup, and the winner of that game will take on the Tigers, who'll be licking their wounds and they led, it must be said, for what, 90% of that game time?
They certainly did. The only time South Fremantle led up until the last quarter was the early minutes of that first quarter, where South Fremantle and Claremont were just checking each other out. They were starting to get a little bit of wiggle room going, not just in the centre but also up forward. But when South Fremantle got that composure going and finally got that run on in that third quarter, it caught Claremont off guard. Claremont, to their credit, they were magnificent in defence. They had the tall timber in that defensive 50. They were able to get crucial intercept marks at every repeat entry inside that forward 50, but their legs were pretty heavy against a South Fremantle side who were absolutely committed in that final quarter.
I thought Dylan Smallwood was superb today. I know he had one little error in that second term that allowed a cheap goal for Donaldson, but credit to him. I mean, what a crumbing goal it was for him as we had a look at some of these, and this was the opening goal of the game, thanks to CD Dodd. But look, Claremont have to back it up now.
They need to.
And either West Perth or Swan Districts, it's not going to be an easy proposition. And then you have a look at Subiaco, probably with their feet up, having a look at this game. No doubt they would have had a training session today, but you know, they've got to take on the Bulldogs, and that could be a season-defining win.
It could be, maybe a grand final preview 2 weeks after the second semi-final. But the fact remains is this: the Bulldogs have won it by a point, and they will go on to the second semi-final to play Subiaco at Leederville next week.
It's deja vu,
It is deja vu, it certainly is.
Yeah.
But also, Claremont, they'll play their first semi-final at home at Revo Fitness Stadium against the winner of tomorrow's elimination final between West Perth and Swan Districts. What a game that is certainly going to be. But my goodness gracious me, Matty Chechens, every time we're together in the commentary box, it's always a thriller.
Yeah, it is. And it's a privilege to be able to call, and it was tremendous working alongside you this afternoon, Paul, and look forward to the future fixtures that are upcoming in the final season.
What a tremendous game it was. Just before we let you go, who's your tip for tomorrow, West Perth and Swan Districts? You went with West Perth earlier, but of course there's still a few murmurings on the injury front as far as Swan Districts concerned. West Perth have got a few as well, despite their win over Perth in round 22. Who's your definite? Who are you going?
I think Swan Districts match up okay against the forward line of West Perth. I know they've got Keitel, but there was an injury cloud over him. Still deservedly winning the Bernie Naylor medal, and congratulations to him. And Keegan Knott's been quiet over the last few weeks. I think he's ready for a breakout game. I think if the ball winners in Anderson and Fisher aren't fit, I think West Perth win it easily. If they do play, no doubt they're going to be sore. I just think West Perth might have too much grunt in the midfield. I think it'll be tight, but I'd say West Perth win through. And I want to call early now. I think what we've just witnessed today, I think this is going to be the grand final.
It could be a grand final.
And that's no disrespect to the Subiaco team or their supporters, but I just think Subiaco don't have the scoring punch that both of these two teams do. And if either of these two teams show up defensively like they did today, I think they'll win. Either one of these teams will win the flag. So for me, I think this is going to be a preview of the grand final, but there's going to be so much more still to decide.
Absolutely. This final series has kicked off on a tremendous note. Matty, thank you very much for your inputs. Always great to work with you as well. And of course, our wonderful team at Front Row Screens. On behalf of Matty May, Bailey, our cameraman, of course, Matt, my fellow commentator, Matt Williamson and Ryan Ramage, dealing with the production of the game. They do a tremendous job as always, and all the Front Row Screens team. This is Paul Persick bidding you farewell from Fremantle Community Bank Oval, where in the qualifying final, the reigning premiers hung on by the barest of margins, 65-64. So long, everybody.